So, when we last left off, your group had already defeated the pirates at the Cove of Slaves. You had figured out a plan on how to get the remaining slaves out of the cove onto two separate ships, both the Sea Skater and your personal ship. You then managed to evade the oncoming attack of three pirate vessels, including the Yarrow Bluebeard's own personal ship. You got away basically scot-free, along with a hoard of 25,000 gold pieces, which you split amongst yourselves. And you sailed back northeastward towards Baldur's Gate with the now freed slaves, this extra ship, which is at your disposal. I wanted to add that one as well. I believe that is just. And you return to Baldur's Gate. Your other ships have arrived as well, including the Voyage and Ocean Splendor, which were on a away mission. They returned with 900 gold pieces, which I have here. Don't add anything to your character sheets just yet. And as your group is settling into Baldur's Gate, you notice another ship approaching. Or a ship that belongs to Llama, the bronze dragon that has hired you for the mission that ultimately sent you to the Cove of Slaves. Currently in Baldur's Gate now. Does anybody have anything important to add to that? Something they would like to point out that they thought would be very necessary for the retelling of what happened last session?
I don't have anything that's strictly story related, but last session I tried to use an ability and it gave me some kind of error, and I just figured out what the error was. The interception fighting style is on my hotbar, but it's not on my character. So I don't know if we're gonna get any fights or something, but maybe I can add that to my character list early.
The interception fighting style?
Yeah.
I could see it on your character sheet. I can hit it.
Why can't I hit it?
I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Okay. So, that being said, let me do a ready check. Do you not see it under active abilities, interception?
It's under. Is this one? Is it on other features? Okay, there we go. It's a different icon than on my hotbar. So that's all. I got it.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, if you click into the different stores, you'll notice that they are selling more items in general. We're going to get rid of the random rolls for magic items of your choice. A little bit hard for me to keep track of what should or shouldn't be allowed. So we're just going to do away with that for now. Instead, shops are just going to generally offer more things. And as you guys progress through the game, you'll unlock more things you could potentially purchase. I've reduced the overall number of shops, but I did add a new one called the Jeweler. So
We're still on the training map, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
With the zombies.
Over here. I've added a new shop called a Jeweler. Jeweler sells, you guessed it, jewels, and eventually they'll sell magic jewelry if they have it available. They also sell a number of spell components, which can be used for particular spells. In this case, they have a number of chipped diamonds, which can be used for the spell Revivify. Any spell that has a spell component that costs money that is consumed by the spell, I'm going to be keeping track of that instead of just letting you use money to just automatically cast a spell. If you have a spell that requires a spell component that costs money but does not consume it, you can ignore it unless it is worth more than 300 gold pieces. At that point, you have to obtain the spell component. There aren't too many spells that have this, like Leomund's Secret Chest, I think, is one of them, which none of you are high enough level to have anyway. But I believe one of the shops that I made sells it. But anyway, if you guys wanted to buy anything, feel free to take a look around now. If you wanted to get gems instead of holding on to all this money, you could just buy gems. In theory, it should just work where you just buy as many gems as you want, and the gems are going to be worth exactly what you paid for. So should just be
I got a
able to just swap
question.
things out. Go ahead.
In the armor, I'm looking at the magic equipment,
Sure.
and in the descriptions, it's all the same description. So
In the descriptions, it's all the same description.
yeah, it just says make magical items with templates.
Oh, well, do you see the text above that?
Oh, there it is. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so those are basically a template that you can add to a suit of armor. The armor has to be non-magical. At best, it has to be like a +1 through +3 magic item. This does not give you guys bonuses to AC or anything like that. These are just special items that have special ability. So like the Armor of Gleaming, it never gets dirty. Cast off armor, it lets you remove the armor as a magic action. Smoldering armor, it's constantly smoldering. Bunch of interesting ones in the arcane supplies, like the Book of Many Fashions, the Hat of Vermin, a couple of different staves, some wands, stuff like that. So take a quick look. Take like 5 minutes just to look
I think
around.
this Candle of the Deep seems like just generally good. So I'm gonna buy one of those.
Hey, the adamantine ammunition. You mentioned that for 400 GP, I get like 20 or something like that.
Let's see. Yeah, I
Or
didn't.
maybe
Oh,
you didn't say
adamantine
anything at all.
ammunition. It should tell you. Adamantine ammunition. You get 10 of them for.
Okay. So I had bought one, but it didn't fix the quantity, so I'm just gonna manually do it.
Sure, that's fine.
My shield was 5,000 gold, right?
5,000. Yes, I added. It should have been. Did you pay the full 5,000?
I believe so.
Okay. I only gave you back 400, so give yourself back another 4,600.
Great.
Who in this party does the most subterfuge? In
Was it
terms
there?
of
Or Zathir or Chimera, I guess, depending on what you mean by subterfuge.
yeah, in arcane supplies, the Cloak of Many Fashions would be really good for you guys.
Why didn't I take a walk over there?
Is this spell scroll level 1 just any level 1 spell?
Any level 1 spell.
Gotta look up some spells. Okay, so someone bought all the diamonds?
I got the diamonds,
Got the diamonds.
the chip diamonds.
The life-saving diamonds.
I bought all the rubies.
I found an infinite money glitch. This guy sells stone tablets for free. Buy them and sell them back to him.
I think he buys them for 50% of whatever you got. So if you
Oh, it's
bought
just
them
funny,
for
like,
nothing,
he has an unlimited number of them that cost nothing. It's just a glitch. It's a glitch in the Matrix. definitely buy some of these gems.
Some of these adventuring things are fun. I love those collapsible poles.
The first pointless thing to buy of the night, I'm doing it.
I'll say, I believe, I don't think we've ever actually tried selling something to somebody, but I'm going to say the. I set the jeweler to have a sell price modifier of 100%. What this means is that if you try to sell something to it, it should give you back 100% of what it's worth. I'm going to say that there is no way to restrict the type of item. So if you guys wanted to like transfer your gems into gold, you can try selling it to the jeweler. I'm not entirely sure how you do that, but really quickly, why don't we see if we can figure that out?
You just go, yeah, you just double click it and it's a sell items and it lists everything in your inventory.
Okay.
And it
So-
gives you,
The pole of collapsing could technically continue to expand forever.
the 10 feet.
Oh, does it say 10 feet?
It turns into a pole.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
And
a
it says
pole
a
is only
pole.
10 feet.
I can sell my race, my species, I mean, to
Don't do
the
that.
jeweler. For undefined.
Don't do it. Don't do any of that. If you ruin your character is just whatever they are now.
Oh, it's really hard not to click that sell button.
Let's see what happened.
I swear to God,
Like
if
a
you guys
regular
do that,
human.
your character will just remain that way for the rest of the game.
Can I sell my ability to be an elf?
You'll go to a new city and people will just be like, "What are you?"
I don't
Like,
know.
I don't know.
That's been
Yeah,
made clear to me yet.
I can sell my species and I can also sell unarmed strike. To
Where do
them.
you see the option for selling stuff? I just see a buy items.
It's just next to buy items for me.
Well, same for
At the
me.
jeweler?
You're looking at the armor place right now?
I'm looking at the jeweler.
Oh yeah, the jeweler just has choose along with the sell item tab. Yeah. Okay.
The rope of mending is pretty cool too.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like Finn would
He's elf.
absolutely.
Just buy it. You guys got
Destroy it.
you guys have crazy money right now. Just go bananas.
Yeah. Talk about the candle. I'm not sure it'll ever come out because we can make light underwater anyway. But who knows? Maybe a candle that can stay lit
I
underwater is
spent
good.
like thousands of. I spent a lot of gold last session on like endless potions. So
Well, if nobody wants this pole of collapsing, I'm totally buying that.
What does it say? I want to read it. That's kind of neat. Yeah.
I bought the handy spice pouch, so I could throw spice at people.
And pocket sand.
Pocket salt in someone's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Paprika.
Oops, I used it.
Tidy sheets broke again.
Is it?
Does anyone want the rope of mending, or should I get it?
Looks like it.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potion of
Tidy Sheets
climbing.
is complete. Although I haven't tried updating it today.
That's
Because-
okay. I might as well just switch to this default sheet so it will work all the time.
But I do like
Wait,
it.
is
about it
Veteran's
is-
Cane is just Volan's weapon.
What did you say?
Veteran's
yeah, yeah.
Cane is Volan's weapon.
Yeah. That's pretty useful. Just
Yeah.
having a hidden blade, pretty much.
So the spell scrolls and the arcane supplies, basically, I need to. Could I buy it and just determine what scroll level I want to use?
Yeah, you buy it, and
Later?
then you tell me. No, they're not like a quantum spell. If that's what you're saying, you tell me what spell you
Okay.
want. You spend the money, and then I give the spell to you in a scroll form.
Power word kill.
Level 1 power word kill.
Yeah,
If you
level
have
one.
less than 2 HP, you die immediately.
It's pretty handy. Spells.
I agree. Spells are
Can
pretty
I-
handy.
Can I buy Armor of Gleaming, but just apply it to my abs,
Sure.
so I'm just always glowing?
Or just go ahead and remove 100 gold from your inventory, and
I'll do it.
The armorer goes in the back and gets a bottle of baby oil and just starts rubbing it all over you.
I'll do it. I will.
Well, it doesn't glow. It just never gets dirty. You're very clean abs.
Get the cast off armor, but just equips nothing.
Get the cast off armor on your underpants.
Magic action just to take off my pants. Yes. Or the smoldering armor, I just look like I really smell.
Yeah, you just have stink lines coming off of you.
Yep.
But they are specifically odorless, so you have to use something else like prestidigitation to make a stink. Let's see what spell scrolls. So the spell has to be in your class's spell list for you to use it. So it's not like you could just buy a spell scroll and like I'm a fighter, I cast shield. Like that would be busted, right? So it has to be a spell that you could otherwise cast.
But do they not consume slots then, or are they?
No, they
don't,
consume the spell scroll, but
Yeah.
but the only other issue with spell scrolls is that there's like a baseline value for the attack bonus and the save. So whatever bonuses and abilities you get, it's like you're not casting it, the scroll is casting it.
Yeah, you can get something like Bless, though.
Yeah, you could always get something that is like generally helpful and doesn't really require anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. But anyway, enough of that. You guys are busy buying stuff, and you catch word that Llama has made her way to Baldur's Gate on board a trade ship, and those of you who are there to meet her as she steps off of the vessel along with some crew in tow, she smiles and gestures very appreciatively at the group of you. She immediately recognizes the group of merchants who were on board the Bobbing Barrel, and she thanks your group for having rescued them. She snaps her fingers, and another servant comes up with a small chest full of coins and says, "Your reward, as promised." And inside of it, you can some amount of money. $800 gold pieces, which includes the bonus for assisting her. On top of the 900 you received earlier, that should be 1,700 in total. And let's see if this works. I have an ability now to reward you guys gold. 1,700.
Just like distribute it.
Split
That's like pennies now.
Yeah, chump change.
between all of you. Let me know if that gave you guys money.
No.
I do not believe so.
Inventory. 722. Oh, I wonder if this is your old. I wonder if I gave your old characters money. Yep, I like that. Unless, no, this should be it. That's weird. Didn't work. Okay. So then, what is the split of 1,700 gold pieces? Which means
283.
283. So everybody go ahead and add 283 gold pieces to your character sheets.
That's 6 ways, right?
You said 283?
283.
And with that, she says, beyond just the money that I owe you, I believe I had a deal with one of your crew, Sathir. Is that your name? And she points to you, Sathir.
Well, yes, my lady. It's been a while, and am I blessed to come within your grace again?
She smiles,
Sathir,
semi-flirtatiously.
Zethia walks up to her, and Niels offers his hand to grab her hand to kiss her.
She smiles and accepts the offer semi-flirtatiously, and she says, "Huh. So someone in your group does have manners. It's good to see. And your request, I believe, was to get all the way south to Kalimshan. I believe I have just the thing for you." And she snaps her fingers again. Another serpent comes by, this time with a small, finely hewn wooden box. She takes the box and opens it in front of you, Sathir, and inside is like a strange stone sigil, about the size of like a dinner plate, and has all these arcane markings on it that you can't make heads or tails of. It seems very old. Immediately, Chimera can sense something about it, and I'll whisper.
Oh, what?
And she says, "This. Some people on my crew discovered this quite a long time ago. You attach it to your ship, and it grants you the ability to transport that ship to several key locations scattered all throughout the Sword Coast."
Which locations?
For now, the only two that we know of are Orlumbor and Kalimport to the south. But rumor has it that more of these gates, as they are referred to, are hidden throughout the oceans of the coast itself.
Zethir bows with his hand to receive this wonderful gift. My lady, I extremely appreciate this. I believe my team is ready to explore the lands of Kalimshan. We're searching for particularly the Temple of the Eternal Sands.
I see. Well, I hope you find what it is that you are looking for. I'm not too familiar with Kalimshan myself, so I can offer you little guidance, except, of course, for the ability to get there. You will need to affix it to a ship of yours. My crew can do the job for you if you wish. I see you have quite a number of vessels at your disposal. Do you have an idea of which one you would like to affix the key to?
Well, if it's
Sit
taking us
there.
directly to
Looks at the team.
Kalimport, if we don't need to use our ship to like evade anything, maybe we just take one of the other larger ships.
But does it get permanently affixed?
Yes.
Oh, never mind then. We probably want to equip it to the ship.
Well, not permanently, but it takes a long time to apply it and remove it.
Can I interject quickly and kindly ask Llama? So where did your crew find this item?
Of this, I am unsure. I sent a ranging crew out. They did some trade with various groups throughout the Sword Coast, and when they returned, they had this with them. Didn't seem valuable, although one of the wizards on board assured me it had some magical ability. Upon further investigation, we discovered that it actually had a connection to a relic that we had found. I believe I said Orlumbor before. That was my mistake. I actually meant the whale bones.
Chimera kind of like looks down and she says, she goes and she says, have you used this item yourself yet?
I have traveled upon a ship that has used this item, yes. You have to travel to one of these places first to activate one of the gates. From there, so long as you have your key, you should be able to transport to any other gate that the key is affiliated with.
And this device is that key.
Yes.
Does something about this seem familiar to you, Chimera?
I go and I nod. And I'm gonna tell Sif telepathically, we could discuss it later.
Let us discuss further amongst ourselves what ship we will attach us to, and we'll let you know.
Of course. I have other business to attend to, but perhaps we can meet here again in the evening.
I don't. Hi.
Hello. I don't think we have met before.
No, my name's Finn. How are you? What's your name?
My name is quite long and difficult to pronounce, but people around here call me Llama.
Ah, Llama. Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, this big fella's Finn over here. We picked him up down south. He was a slave.
Is that so? And so this crew rescued you, and now you adventure with them.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Do you know of that little area over there? I forget the name of the cove down south. There was a slave master there.
This I am unaware of. I knew pirates kept slaves, but was this perhaps one of the centers of their slave gathering operations?
It was
Correct.
definitely one of the bigger ones.
Well, Finn and the team over here, we were able to break down their operations and save the slaves that were there. We freed them over here, just out here on Baldur's Gate.
He gives you some congratulations and says things like you will be a valuable asset to Baldur's Gate. You've saved all these people, yada yada.
Well, I would love to tell you some more over dinner at some point.
I'm afraid I will have to say no just for this evening. I am quite busy. This merchant operation doesn't run itself. But perhaps when I have some more time.
Is there any news? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Was there any news from Roaring Shore, or the city to the south of it?
There was
From
some
when we last saw
rumbling
it.
about an attack upon one of the taverns there. Bathtarl's Lantern, I believe.
Yes, there was an attack there previously, but the town to the south of it had a mind flayer in position.
Hmm.
We didn't feel strong enough to attack it at the time because it was in charge of an entire town. But is there been any news out of that town? It seems like they were staging something.
I'm afraid I haven't heard anything from that town in quite some time. Our merchant vessels do not do much trade with that area. But perhaps some investigation is in order. She looks to the group.
Is it you're looking at us?
Yes.
I would agree. Once we get Zathir all fixed up, we can go take a look, but we can't have him falling apart literally.
She pulls out what appears to be a small mechanical device. She glances at it for a moment. I really must be going now. I will be late for a meeting. I do not travel with most haste, so I apologize for leaving so abruptly, but we shall meet here again in the evening, and my crew will affix key to one of the ships that you please. Until then, and she wanders off into the city streets. And so your group has a choice to make. You have this key, the Kraken Gate key, and you have the ability to affix it to one of your ships. The process takes, let's say, an hour. So you can't just remove it and pop it onto another ship really quickly. But, and it can't be affixed to anything larger than a medium-sized, let's see what these frigates, a large-sized ship. Your ship is medium. The Sea Skater is medium. The frigate that you stole is large. Ocean Splendor is large. And the Voyage is large as well. So you have 4 ships at your disposal, and you get to choose which one you would like to apply this key to.
Whichever one we take, I would like to upgrade.
I think that's sensible, but before we decide which one to put it on, we could figure out if this key is something we can trust.
I go and I jump in and say, I don't know if we could trust this relic. It's a relic from the Cult of the Kraken. So I'm not sure who Llama was trading with, but I wouldn't trust putting this item on the Sea Skater in case of an emergency.
Oh, the trusty Sea Skater. It is fast.
I don't know if Llama, maybe she doesn't know. It's not necessarily bad, but if we don't know where all the gates are, and if one of them gets activated and we end up jumping to it, that seems like it could be bad. But I think we'll have that risk no matter what ship we attach it to. Maybe there's value in attaching it to the Sea Skater just so we have a fitting chance to escape if that does come to pass.
John, with this information, I wanted to ask, would I be able to know more? Would I be able to know more about this item, either based on my background or maybe even potentially casting Identify on it?
You can feel free to cast Identify on it if you wish, but beyond sort of the nature of the item, offhand, your character doesn't know anything about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try casting Identify on it then.
Okay. You cast Identify on it, and the Kraken Gate key. Kraken Gate key is a runic stone that allows a ship to activate a Kraken Gate. Kraken Gates allow instant teleportation of a single ship of medium to large size and all of its goods and occupants to another Kraken Gate of the user's choice. Only Kraken Gates that the user is familiar with or has visited before can be teleported to. Kraken Gate, this particular key, can be or can access the Whalebones Gate and the Calimport Gate. And as you hold this key, you are able to determine the locations of the gates that it is currently associated with. You also learn that if you were to find a new gate that you haven't accessed before, and you have the Kraken Gate key, you can, once the key makes it to the gate, it gains access to that gate. And then you can teleport between any of these gates.
How big is the key again?
About the size of a dinner plate.
Oh, by the way, if it so happens that one of the ships sink and the key is attached to it, I can breathe underwater and take it off the ship if we need to.
I can also breathe underwater
Oh,
and save it.
Same.
Well, that's quite handy, Finn. I appreciate your help.
it seems like everyone can breathe underwater.
We're a pretty aquatic bunch.
I can't.
Welcome to the team.
But
I can't breathe underwater.
I can make you
You
breathe.
got a breathing
underwater.
cap too, Zathir. Don't sell yourself short.
I just cast. I mean, I do water breathing on everybody every morning, essentially.
Oh. Cool.
Can you cast it as a ritual?
I'm sure you have.
Yes.
I'm sure you have plenty other skills, Finn.
I can hit things hard.
All right, so you guys have a couple of hours until you meet up with Llama. Is there anything that you'd like to do in the meantime, or would you like to fast forward?
I would like to upgrade the ship we're gonna take. Have we decided yet?
My vote is for the Sea Skater.
Ocean Splendor's pretty beastie. It has a cannon on it.
I think it has to be medium, right, John?
Medium or
Can't
large?
be large. Oh, okay.
Medium or not.
Just show up with a fucking frigate.
Can
What's
we
the other-
add cannons to the
Yeah, you could definitely
Sea
upgrade
Skater?
the weapons. So the way weapons work on ships, you could think of them kind of like levels. Right now, your ship has what would be considered level 1 weapons. If you wanted to upgrade to the next level of weapon, which is level 2, which deals 1d8 damage instead of 1d6, it's 1,000 gold pieces.
Why don't we just like upgrade the Sea Skater's weapons and armor a lot? Like you guys have plenty of gold, right?
Or even the Sea
how
Skater's
much does it cost?
speed. If we can increase the
So-
speed.
So the speed on your ship is already capped. It's the fastest a ship can possibly go.
Okay.
Armor class is something that you can't really upgrade on a ship, except for if you have a gargantuan-sized ship, in order to give it like heavy armor. The problem with basically different sized ships have different thresholds for what they can get. So you can't have a teeny tiny ship that has super high armor class.
Why don't we buy a big ship?
You could buy a really big ship. In fact, the prices for ships.
Well, big ship requires more people, a bigger crew.
Yeah, we currently have
gold
4
to
other
pay
ships.
crew?
Right. We have to dish out the money here. By the way, we should pay off any debts we owe.
We need to pay the crew, I think.
So
Or
does
4
anyone
ships.
have 60,000 gold?
Not on me.
Well, I bet Kai has it.
I wouldn't be here if I had that kind of money.
You would have bought that ship and left already.
Hell yeah.
By the way,
I
this,
think we-
this
I think we have
table
enough
doesn't
ships.
include it, but ships typically come with weapons built into the cost. So you just let me know which ship you want, and I can tell you what the level of weapons on it are.
For the first rate ship of the line, what type of weapons does that have?
That has the highest level you could get. That's why it's first rate. It's the only one that has level 5 weapons.
How does everyone feel about we could take the Sea Skater and just upgrade the armor on it and put
Okay.
some guns on it?
I wouldn't mind upgrading the Sea Skater. I feel like we already have so many ships. I don't know what we do with more ships. Like,
Yes,
I don't want to have these ships we have make us money in some way.
And going fast is always going to be an advantage on the ocean.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
from my understanding, we can't upgrade the armor
upgrade.
on the. We can upgrade the weapons, but not the armor on the Sea Skater.
I think we can also upgrade the armor, but not the speed.
Oh,
Yeah, it's already max speed.
But I don't.
At most, you could put
That-
an extra point of armor class on the Sea Skater, bringing it up to a 13. That'll cost you 1,500
That'll be
gold
nice.
pieces.
the problem is the upgrades take time as well.
Yeah, it's not instant.
Yeah, weapon upgrade is pretty much instant. They just wheel the new weapons on and attach them. Armor
why don't we get the
upgrades-
weapon upgrade?
Let's
I'm down for weapon upgrade.
I'll pay. How much is it?
Yeah,
1,000
I'll
gold pieces.
contribute.
Let me see what I got.
Well, let's see what you
I
got.
wouldn't
Finn.
mind chipping in as well. If you want to split it
Yeah.
like 3 ways.
That might help because I only have 1,049 gold left.
So it's 1,000. Just 300 each.
I'll put
Sounds
in
good.
the last 100.
336, right? What? Oh, Kai, you want to put in as
Yeah,
well?
Yeah. If you said 300 each, I can put in the last 100. Or make it 250 even for 4 people.
Fair enough.
All right, 4 people. Who is going to pay 250?
I will.
I will.
I will.
Okay. So with that, you go to the shipwright. Here, you tell them, "Hey, I want to be able to upgrade these weapons." They give you a rundown of what they can do, and takes them, let's say, an hour to complete the entire process. No, not really a big deal. But they upgrade the weapons to level 2, which is the highest that a medium ship. They bring out these sort of like small cannons to replace the Scorpios that you have. Now you have.
Should we just
level
deduct
2
that on our
weapons.
sheets?
Yeah, just remove it directly
Okay.
from your character sheets.
Wait, what are we doing? 250 each? Or I'm 300, 300, and then 100.
250.
250 each?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta add that.
Let me just modify this on my end. Now you have level 2 weapons on the Sea Skater. The card won't reflect that because the card is just an image. I have to literally modify the card. But the Sea Skater is configured for level 2 damage.
Do we have time for another upgrade?
An upgrade like extra armor will take you about a week.
Alright, no time for that.
I mean,
We could, depending on how long it takes at Kalimshan, we could have them upgrade it while we take another ship there. Because it seems like it takes just an hour to swap the Kraken Gate thing between ships. We wanted to
but-
have it do something.
Oh, right. So we could just have one of the other ships get upgraded.
So, dude, what do you know about Kalimshan? That from what it was described to me, it sounds like a desert place.
Well, Kalimshan is quite big. You have the desert to the west. You even have a forest to the east. towards the middle, it's more like the plains. But it's very dark area, I'd say. It's full of owning slaves is fair game over there. So
We've been to a fair. There's been to a fair amount of slavery here too. This world seems rife with it.
right. I know in Kellenport, which is hopefully where there's a gate. If we end up there, it's going to be a lot of shady people there.
Do you foresee us having to do much sailing, though, or will we be traveling overland?
I guess that depends on where the key gets us, right?
Well, it should be taking us to the town of Kellenport. I'm not sure where, but it's got to be somewhere close by to the town.
I trust the llama.
Talking about, so you said it was a desert, right?
Right. The Temple of Eternal Sands, in my dreams, came out of the desert from the ground.
Should we get some mounts that could do well in the desert? Oh no.
They probably provide them in Kellenport, I'd imagine, for just such an occurrence.
Yeah, okay.
We had to check city over there.
They'd know best how to survive their own deserts.
Should we also stock up on water?
I'm sure the boat is already stocked.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. So what does the group want to do?
Oh
So
yeah,
do
I've
you
got.
want-
Wondering.
Don't remember if I mentioned part of my sword is somewhere in Baldur's Gate, but we can come back for that later.
Baldur's Gate.
You know where it is? Even the GM.
Yeah. It's 1 minute.
Oh, at the Iron Keep, you mean?
Yeah, the Iron
Okay.
Keep.
Yeah, that's way far from here.
Oh, never mind.
Did you
Okay.
see that keep with the iron on next to it and think that was it?
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Okay, so the group wants to attach this thing to the Sea Skater, correct?
I think so.
All right, cool.
I think so.
And so
We might have to use the ship. I'm not sure what's going to happen when we get there, but Kellenport is definitely on the ocean because we can get there with a ship. So maybe we'll have to use the ship again. Probably good to have our best ship. Just in case.
you return to meet up with Llama. She has her crew with her. You point out which one of your ships you want to attach it to, and crew boards the ship and begins the process of applying the Kraken Gate key. Towards the top of it, on the actual deck itself, close to the steering wheel. And your ship now has the Kraken Gate key feature. With that, she also says if you're going to Kellenport, you'll need a map. And she hands you a furled map that details sort of the areas of Kellenport.
We look at it.
She says, I wish you good luck on your journey. I hope to see you all again soon. For now, however, once again, I must depart. This is where we say goodbye. Thank you again
Wait,
for returning my merchants to me.
Llama?
She looks to you. Yes.
Really quickly, before you leave, if you don't mind me prying, who were you having a meeting with earlier?
She talks about merchants that are in the city, no one of particular import.
Can I see if she's lying?
Give me an insight test.
But she's your dad. Me too. She's also your dad.
You can't quite tell.
I think I have inspiration. I can't tell from this character sheet.
I don't know how this character sheet keeps track of inspiration. Inspiration, yes, you do. It's on the attributes page. Little checkbox on the right-hand side. Towards the middle.
Inside. Oh, that is not fun. I missed the dice. I'm gonna use inspiration to reroll that.
Okay.
And that was what check again?
Insight.
Insight.
Yeah, you still
Better.
better. You still can't quite tell.
That's fair. Okay.
And so your group is here for the evening. Is there anything that you wish to do this evening, discuss this evening before continuing your journey? I'll bring you guys to the Sword Coast map really quick. You're currently in Baldur's Gate. And the Whalebones Gate is here. So you'll need to sail to the Whalebones Gate. It'll take you a couple days to get there. And then once you
Oh,
get
we had to get to
there,
the gate first? Oh, I was
Yes.
misunderstanding. I thought we just like warped to the one we chose.
you
Oh.
travel between gates.
Before we leave, I had forgotten to do something. My bad. I just wanted to go to the store and buy a diamond.
You sound so sad. Oh my god.
Just want a
Jesus,
diamond.
I didn't realize you wanted to buy
I hate
diamonds.
to ruin
Go
the
ahead.
fun and have
What's
to
wrong
go
with you,
back.
John? Let him
No,
have
no,
the
no, it's
diamond.
okay. We're still figuring out. So it'll take you guys 6
What
days
was
to
that
get there.
swirly thing?
It's the
Oh,
maelstrom.
that's Maelstrom.
Yeah.
It's for Kaiser.
So we're not going to make upgrades to the other one since it's going to take a week because I have money to spend.
Yeah, if it takes a week, otherwise we'll just be sitting here for a week.
I'll say you
So
could send them. You
let's-
could send them out on a mission, and they'll make you money, but I can't tell you how much money that'll be.
Yeah, I do want to do that. Figure out some way to like, find a merchant.
They'll
who
pick
wants
up
an
like
escort.
basic merchant contracts,
Yeah,
and I'll
Something where they're
I'll
generating
get
some
back
cash.
to you with how much money they'll make, probably based off of like the size of the ship.
let's put extra armor on the Ocean Splendor since that takes a week.
Putting
Well,
it
you
on
want
the
to upgrade
Ocean
the Ocean Splendor while we send the other 3 ships out?
Yeah,
Alright.
because it's the biggest ship we have thus far, and it has the most cannons.
It's the same size as the frigate.
This one just has a name.
All the frigates ours.
Yes,
I think all of these ships are ours.
except for not this trade ship.
Oh, right. These 4 ships, including the Seaskater, are ours.
Cool.
I'm okay with that. If we want to upgrade the Ocean Splendor armor, let it sit here for a week while the other 2 ships go out and try to make some money.
All right, that'll cost you
How much is it?
2,000 gold pieces.
All right. I'll pay it if anyone wants to put in on
Contribute.
it. Otherwise, I could take this one. I'll buy it for now. I'm sure people appreciate the upgrade.
So, John, do you follow the Baldur's Gate logic of if I put a bunch of explosives in a sack and throw it,
No.
they all go off? Or,
I do
okay.
not.
Just want to make sure.
That's Baldur's Gate.
All right, so I deducted 2,000, so we could upgrade that.
All right, you got it.
During the week.
All right, so that'll take 1 week. We put this on the calendar. Oop. Okay. So let's see. Today is the 17th. So on the 27th, I'll add a note. Ocean Splendor upgrade complete. Complete. Save. Okay, and you want to send the other 3 ships out on missions? Each mission will take, say, a week. So the same day that the upgrade is complete. And when they return to this location, they'll have some amount of money that they gained with them. So they're basically just like passive income whenever you're not using them.
Sounds good to me. How does everyone else feel about that?
It's fine with me.
Okay, so let's see. This frigate and the voyage are going. Voyage has okay. So you send those 2 ships out, and when they return, they'll come back with some amount of money. I believe I'll figure out exactly how much, but it'll be a decent
Passive
amount.
income, baby. Our money makes money.
And ships come back on mission with money. And so with that, these 2 ships depart. Your group is allowed to rest for the evening, of course. You have plenty of places to stay here. You don't have to worry about paying for an inn or anything.
Finn wants to explore because he's never been to the land before, so.
Sure. Give me. Why don't we take a 5-minute break? We'll come back at 8:40.
Okay.
Underground Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
Yeah.
Hello?
Another CEO down.
Wow.
Good.
Did you read all about that? That's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
That rocked.
It was the CEO of Wizards of the Coast.
Oh no.
No.
Oh.
Oh wait, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be a good thing.
Sorry, I'm having really bad internet trouble again. I'm getting disconnected constantly. I just got on my
Your
phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. You haven't missed anything. We've been on break for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Matt's been on break this whole time.
He's been doing one continuous bong hit. Ever since that guy got shot yesterday, he's been doing one long bong hit.
What is like the weed equivalent of like chug, chug, chug?
Weed. Just weed.
Suck,
Giant
suck.
bong hits.
Yeah, definitely that.
Just ripping it.
Let's see.
No, ripping it is something else.
Wait, what is it?
Farting.
Farting?
I don't have a fart sound effect, do I?
Well,
I don't think I
Yeah, that was good.
I don't. Yep, that's the closest. Or
But from the ass.
I gotta get more sound. Well, because Discord doesn't let you have that many sound effects on at a time.
Really?
that CEO never saw coming. There were butt bullets.
Maybe they were tear bullets, like Nina linked. The
Mm.
Taiwanese lady is in cahoots. She got her healthcare revoked.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay. All right. So, all of you guys can take long rests if you wish. If you have anything last minute you wish to buy, you don't really have to worry about it too much. You're going to be in a new city relatively soon. But otherwise, I believe Finn, during this evening, your character wanted to explore the city.
Yep.
All right. Does anybody want to take Finn around, show him the ropes of Baldur's Gate?
Well, I wanted to ask if you have enough rations for us.
I can
Uh,
buy more.
I just bought like 8.
I have 40 rations on me.
Oh.
I think we're good.
If we were heading into the desert as well, and food is a worry, I can always create food and drink.
I'd rather not eat you.
Oh no, I can do magic to do it. Don't worry.
Oh.
All right, so the group of you are walking around Baldur's Gate. It is, I don't know if Finn has been to other cities before, but it's very crowded. It's one of the most crowded
I've
cities
only
in
been on
this world.
boats.
It is, there are like, think about like it's your first time ever going to New York City, right? And imagine what that would be like. People seem pushy and loud, and people seem like very different from maybe what you're used to on ships where there's kind of a hierarchy.
This is a lot more busy than on a ship. A lot more busy than underwater.
The fuck was that? He's taking a shower?
I'll take Finn for a walk.
Those are the sounds of the city.
Yeah.
I'll take Finn for a walk. Let's go, Finn.
Okay.
All right, so Finn and Zathir, you guys are walking around the city. It's a beautiful evening here in Baldur's Gate. People are enjoying themselves. It seems like the tension has died down since the many weeks ago the city was attacked by pirates. And so Zathir, you give him this sort of tour of Baldur's Gate just to kind of get him acclimated to what's been going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna take him to a specific place, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna take him to the castle where my father is being held.
I'm
My
not
Daddy's
going.
in there.
I'm gonna.
Ah.
Finn, listen up.
Uh-huh.
We can't be walking around here just freely. Put on this cloak. And I'll hand him a cloak to wear. Or unless you already have one. Do you have a cloak?
Yeah, I do. A billowing cloak.
Alright, cool. Put on your cloak then. I just want to show you something.
Okay.
And Zethir will lead him to the front. Kind of on the side where you can't be seen. I guess Zethir knows a good spot to just kind of show him the front or close to it.
Cool. Right, yeah, so the two of you head towards the Lumen Estate. This large manor built into the city, very old, with these well-armed, well-trained looking guards standing outside on watch. Can't quite see what's going on the inside. There are tall walls with wrought iron spikes sticking out at the top, preventing people from simply vaulting over. But you can see that the inside is relatively quiet. That's about as much as you can tell.
Finn, I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
You know whose castle this is?
No.
Chimera's father owns this place and lives here.
Oh.
And it's also where my father resides as well.
Oh.
You see,
Okay.
my father, he's being enslaved within the borders of this building. Belafane, Chimera's father, has him trapped under his spell. And the only thing I could do is to become stronger so I could get him out. Because that man in there is a very powerful man. And probably the cause of all this crazy shit that's been going on here.
Oh.
Zethir,
Well.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Zethir looks back up towards the castle. And he puts his hand up towards it and tries to like grab what you may think is his father, but he's just trying to grab him.
I mean,
I'm coming back. I'm coming back, I swear, and I'll get you out there.
I'll do anything I can do to help you. I'm not the sharpest tool in the what's the crayon box. No, that's not it. Whatever. I'm not that smart, but I can definitely help you somehow.
Zethir nods and kind of begins to guide him safely without being seen back to kind of where everyone else is. Finn.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone that I brought you here. It'll cause trouble.
To be fair, I'm not sure I'll be able to explain where we are, really, so I think you're safe.
Let me ask you this, Stephen. What is Finn feeling through all of this?
He feels bad. He doesn't like when, well, his new friends are upset, and anyone that's enslaved, he doesn't like, and he clearly sees that, sees that Sathir is, really upset about this and really wants to free his father, so Finn wants to do everything he can to help.
All right. Some time passes, and the group of you decide to eventually turn in for the evening.
Also, it smells.
Yeah, yes,
The
it's a very
city
smelly.
smells.
It smells terrible.
Well,
Yeah.
also
And-
Thea is showing Finn around town. I'd like to get Chimera and Domo and go talk to Kai.
Sure. Yeah, the group of you get together to discuss.
Kai, can we have a word?
Yeah, what's up?
So back on that island we just saved these people from, we met Chimera's father in the body of a priest, but along with that in the room was a statue of Tentrix. And from what Chimera's father said, he may be your father.
What?
You didn't know?
No. What? How, can you even believe Chimera's father? Like, is that possible?
Well, Kai, it was a statue. It's one thing to hear it from my dad, but to see a physical statue emulating this, it's pretty hard for us to believe as well. I remember you asked how me and Sif were doing after leaving the cove, and I did want to tell you this when you asked, but I think this is a part of a greater conversation that we should have as a group. Because in addition to seeing Tentrix as your father, we also caught word, and through visuals of the statue, they also allude to Tentrix being a Malenti.
That's impossible. My dad was just a merchant sea elf. This is absolutely crazy.
Chimera's
And Kai
father is a lot of things, but he has a tendency to rub our faces and things he knows are true and we can't change. So I don't think he's lying here. The bigger issue here, Kai, is if your father is a Malenti, you may also be one. And we already have run into Malenti who didn't know they were ones until they were activated. Which is why this has become a bigger issue.
I see. Well, I haven't shown no signs of being a Malenti yet. And hopefully my mother being a storm giant will, help me not be a Malenti. I don't even know. And Kai is just like speechless at this point. Like she doesn't even know what to say. Like,
Did any of the people when you were a pirate, you were on Bluebeard's ship, when they got rid of you and started chasing you, what was the actual cause of it? The first case, why did you leave that boat? Why do you owe so much money?
well, if you ever want to leave a boat, like a pirate boat, there's always a fee that comes with it. So my fee was an exorbitant amount of money. And so that's why they've been after me, is because I've owed this money and it's late. And so they're coming after me now. Yeah, I left because, I just disagreed with what they were doing. I could see like them not doing like good things. Like I get being a pirate, you know, you loot and raid cities, but they were
One
doing
second, guys.
more.
I'll be back in a minute. There's someone setting off fireworks right outside my window. 1 minute.
Oh, that's exciting.
Fun. Yeah, people do what they need to do to survive. To an extent. I'm talking about not talking about the fireworks. I'm talking about
Yeah.
being a pirate.
I thought you were
Oh.
talking about the fireworks.
I
They're doing-
wasn't
they're doing
sure
it to
what
live.
he was.
You need this
Yeah,
to eat.
right. But they started doing worse things and unnecessary violence and morbid things that I just did not want to be a part of. And I did not sign up to do that. I've seen some pretty horrific things on the ship of Jarl Bluebeard, and after a certain amount of time, I just wanted out. I didn't want to be a part of that crew anymore.
So you ran?
I didn't run. I made a deal with him, and it was for a lot of money to buy my freedom, and he gave me a time limit that I did not meet.
It's possible that Blueberry doesn't know either.
But
And it's
his
also possible.
encampment,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but we found the statue on his encampment, so he might know. And that might also be why Kai's fee was so expensive.
Yeah, we can't let you
She's-
leave.
She's one of a kind, one of very, very few out there. And then Chimera emphasizes if she is a Malenti.
With everything we've learned, have we heard any way, to reverse the, I guess, activation of a Malenti? Because I'm guessing they become not themselves once they are activated. I don't know if it's similar to
I know we met that one couple under the ocean. And one of them was a Malenti, and they were married for years. I'm not sure if they were activated or if they were always. I don't know if we ever figured that out.
From
But it
what the
could-
wife said, it was he just randomly like up and left, like, and never came back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like, didn't she have no idea that he was a Malenti?
Yeah, she had no clue.
yeah. So it's like either this guy was like a really, really, really good liar, or he didn't know and was activated by the other Malenti that went to visit him that day.
Yeah, it's potentially a huge problem. But Kai, you've been nothing but a great traveling companion.
Yeah, that in no way are we looking to look at you any differently. Like, you're still our friend. You're still my friend. This is just information that we had to tell you as
Yeah.
a group.
And just like Zathir may be in danger, you may also be in danger in some way. So I think it helps if everybody is working toward the same goal.
Well, I still hope that you're wrong about my father. I just, the man that I knew would never become something so terrible.
Did you know your father? I thought he left very early
When
on
I
in your
was
life.
when I was younger, but I grew up with him. I was sailing on ships with him. That's where my love for the sea came.
Do we have any way to show Kai exactly what the statue looked like? Can we make like a little image?
I mean, you can, yeah, your characters can draw.
You could doodle it. I have ink and a pen. I guess like I could
It's
try
not
and like
it's not like that Kai doesn't want to believe you guys. She just doesn't want to believe like that her dad could be that person.
Yeah, it'd be
Like
this is very
she
shocking.
fully trusts you guys. Yeah, she's like completely shocked because she's like, I thought my dad was just this lost seafarer, and now you're telling me he's like behind this whole plot that we're trying to, you know.
there's a lot yet to uncover. I wouldn't, Uh, I understand you're upset right now, but we can hold on to hope that there is some way to bring him back from whatever he has turned into. I'm sure he was a good man.
I hope so. Well, and if I turn into Malenti, y'all know that I'm very easy to knock out, so you go right on ahead.
Thank you, Kai.
Sure.
Hopefully it doesn't have
That's
to
a
come to
joke.
that. No, I'll take you at your word.
Is it Hi, is it okay if I try something?
What do you mean by something?
Can I try to peer into your mind to see if you have subconscious thoughts as a Malenti?
Also, if you remember what your
Uh,
father looked like, maybe she can tell if that's the statue.
I mean, I trust that the statue was of my dad. Like, I just,
Well, we never
you
met
know.
your dad. We don't know we are personally. You would know the best.
So what does this entail? What would you do to me?
Chimera walks closer to Kai and reveals under her armor, she pulls out a medallion of thoughts. And she looks at Kai and says, with this medallion, I could go and peer into the depths of your mind. And Chimera will also dig through her bag and pull out potions of healing and say, it might be intense, kind of like when my mind was peered into at the plane of water. But I'm very willing to give you potions of healing and help you if the repercussions of peering through your mind go south in any way.
I'll interject here and say, I don't feel comfortable doing this to Kai. We all have, you know, our own little secrets here and there from each other, such as just being human, I guess. I don't want to put Kai through any sort of experiment here. And I do trust her, and even if we know whether know for certain she's a Malenti or not, uh, there's nothing we can really do about it. Not right now, at least.
Well, it's not your decision. It's Kai's. If she's open to finding the truth. Or waiting until the last minute to figure out who she really is.
Of course, if she's comfortable with it.
I'm not really comfortable with that. I mean, there's no guarantee that, like, if this exists, right? Like, if I'm Malenti, that part of my brain is awake right now, and that you would be able to get into that side. I just think there's too many variables right now to, like, make that a, like, legit experiment. Not that, like,
Okay.
Kai wants to be a team player, but she's just like, that's a little too intense right now. Like, I did just die a couple of days ago.
Chimera puts the medallion away and puts her potion of healing away and says, okay. It's just a suggestion.
All right. So with that, your group decides to turn in for the evening, and the new day rolls in. Time. I'll move us forward on the calendar. It is now the 18th, and your group prepares themselves to venture towards the gate. Is that correct?
Yeah. The whale bones, right?
Yes.
Ben, how was Baldur's Gate?
It was pretty cool, you know. Do you know that they make frozen milk and put sugar in it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it sells quite well too.
Uh, it tasted pretty good, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so Zathir did a good job of showing you around, huh?
Yeah, it was great.
Of course I did. I know Baldur's Gate. Been here plenty of times. Especially for my kind of work.
You made sure to stay away from you know where, right?
Yeah, of course. There's nothing to it. I mean, it is quite a view anyway. We passed by it. I showed him. We left.
You showed him what?
Do you know what?
You know what I'm thinking about is Chimera's house.
1 minute.
Correct. Yeah, we just walked by it.
Really? You walked by it.
Zathir, you went back?
Zetir looks at Finn. Right, Finn? So we didn't cause any trouble, did we?
What are we talking about?
Zetir shrugs.
Okay, so your group continues their journey towards the Whalebones Gate, which is here. It's going to be a medium journey, which was going to give you guys 2 opportunities for downtime. It's going to take you guys 6 days to get there, and depending on what rolls you make for the navigation test, that can be shorter or it can be more time. That being said, for the first navigation test, the only person who actually has navigator's tools is Kai. So Kai, do you want to give us a navigator's tool check?
Yeah, got it. Sorry, just looking for it. I'm not finding it on my sheet. Give me 1 second. Where is it?
Let's see. Let's take a look at your character under attributes. Scroll down, tool proficiencies, navigator's tools.
Ah, there.
10, go ahead and roll a d4 because you also have guidance on this. Yeah, that's a 2, so you get 12. That's a 9 to 14, so you don't make any you don't lose time, but you don't gain time either. And that's pretty much the only check that needs to be done for the day. So with that, we can do a downtime activity. Show this to you guys. Everybody gets to go ahead and choose a downtime activity. So let's start with Chimera. What downtime would you like to participate in?
I was wondering if I could help repair the ship in any way. Like, was the Sea Skater like still damaged from when we were running away from Jarl Bluebeard's fleet?
Looks like the Sea Skater is fully repaired.
Okay. I'm wondering if there's anything I could make using the Tinker's tools.
You can go ahead and take a look at
To-
the downtime activities to see if there's something that you can make. And I'll give you a chance to look at that while I move on to Kai. What would you like to do for your downtime activity?
I think I'll just work on one of my spells. I'll just be playing with the weather out here.
Okay, so you are honing your skills.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and give
And
me
I know I have to pick a certain one, right?
Let's see.
It's like specific. That one will have a plus.
Is that hone your skills or is that? Is that hone your skills or craft, learn language or tool, and maintain equipment? thought I had one for attacks, but I guess that is on your skills. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a skill,
Skill,
specific
tool, weapon
skill,
attack, or
tool,
spell
weapon.
attack. Yeah, sure. So go ahead and make a. You can make a spell attack if you like, and we could just flavor it as you're like messing with the weather, perhaps with one of your spells. And depending on what you roll here, it gives you some bonus the next time you use it.
Okay, so what do I need to roll?
Roll one of your spell attacks, like your Ray of Frost or your something that has to be that you try to target somebody's armor class.
Sorry, just trying to.
Your Frostbite or Ray of Frost. I think those are the only two that you have.
Oh, I thought lightning bolt.
No, Lightning Bolt is a saving throw.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All
Okay,
good.
I'll do Ray of Frost then. Where is that?
All right, you cast Ray of Frost. You get a 25 to the attack. You perform excellently. The next time you cast Ray of Frost, you get a +2 bonus. And then the time after that, you get a +1 bonus.
Is this for the next battle or just within the next day?
It lasts until you use it or until you make another camp or you complete a long rest, whichever happens first. We're not
I
doing
see,
long
okay.
rests because we're traveling. So the next time you basically are traveling outside of the ship, you get the support. Okay. So that being said, that was Kai. Next up is Athir. What would you like to do during your downtime?
Could I continue learning a language with Sif if he's willing to do it?
Sure. Is Sif willing to teach him?
That is a good question.
Are you running a class again? I think Finn was in on it as well.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead and make an intelligence check, Zathir.
Make it with disadvantage.
Why?
He's teaching you.
Might be
He's
a little
teaching
bit
you
annoyed
wrong
with
as
you.
a joke.
Well, that's because I'm using lucky.
All right,
to give me advantage.
just roll it like normal. Jesus Christ.
all right.
Great. You get 2 points towards your language. So on your character sheet, go to that feature, learning a language, and add 2 points to it.
Cool.
Next up is Sif.
I'll do the same thing. I'll do the undercommon.
All right, go ahead and make an intelligence check. All right, you got a
1.
2, so you make no progress. Domo.
I'm gonna make my really strong alcohol still.
All right, you're continuing to brew. You're working on your craft. Let's see. Do you have that craft thing in your character sheet? It should be under your features.
Oh yeah, I just the brewer supplies check.
Oh no, I mean
I
the
just-
I'm sorry, not that. The actual.
Oh,
I don't think I
features.
added it to it, but you had, I think, 1 or 2 points last time.
Yeah, I just had one.
You had 1 point, so you have 2 points now. Just take a note of that somewhere, and I'll have to add that to your
Yeah.
character sheet. But you have 2
Yep.
points towards it in total.
Hey, can I give myself guidance on these checks?
I'm gonna say you can give one person guidance during all of these, because otherwise you're giving every single person guidance on a skill check, and that's like kind of busted.
Yeah,
So,
I'll
once you
give
use
it
it,
to
it's
myself
done.
later.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
And next up is Finn.
So, can Finn? So it says here that you can work to train a skill. Can Finn work on his dexterity?
On you're talking about hone your skills, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it has to be a specific skill, tool, weapon attack, or spell attack that your character is proficient with.
Oh, okay. In that case, since we're traveling, I I think he's just gonna try and wrestle with Aslog again.
Okay. You're wrestling with Oslog. I'll say you're honing your skills here. That is a athletics check. So go ahead and make athletics. All right. 23. You perform very well. You get a next time you perform an athletics check, you get a +2 bonus. And the time after that, you get a +1 bonus. None of this is automated, so just keep track of it yourself. And this this effect goes away the next time you either perform a long rest, you make camp, whichever one of those occurs first. Making camp is like a traveling thing, so don't worry about it for now. Chimera, did you ever figure out what it is you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna work on learning Auckland with Kai.
Sure. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
E.
All right, at 16, you make great progress. You gain 2 points towards your language. Go ahead and add those points towards your language. All right, and so that is the first leg of the trip, roughly 3 days into it. The weather is... actually, I can tell you guys exactly. Pretty heavy rains right now, but nothing that is proving to be especially difficult for your group. Now for the second leg of the trip, I need Kai to go ahead and give me another navigation check. Okay, she rolled a nat 1. Kai, do you want to use a point of inspiration for that, or are you good with that? It just means you. I believe you do, because you guys were all doing some pretty good roleplay earlier. Under attributes, yes, you have a point of inspiration.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use that.
All right, go for it. All right, an 8. So didn't really make that much of a difference either way. You end up in a situation where you end up losing some time, probably because of the weather, number of different factors. So I'm going to say it's going to take you guys an extra 2 days. So instead of 6 days in total, it takes you 8 days. That being said, this is the second round of downtime activities. So everybody starting with Chimera, what would you like to do for downtime?
Is this our second and last downtime activity?
Yes.
I think Chimera is gonna go up to the crow's nest and practice her perception.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead and make a perception test.
Okay.
All right, with the 15, your training pays off. The next time you use it, you get a +2 bonus. The time after that, you get a +1 bonus. Just keep track of that on your side. This goes away when you take a long rest or you make camp. Kai,
so is that
go ahead.
2 times?
Yes,
Is that 2 times?
Exactly. So the first time you get
Okay.
+2, the time after that +1.
Okay, thank you.
Kai, what do you do?
I'll do my other spell. What was the other one? You said Ray of Frost and then...
And I don't know off the top of my head. Frostbite.
Frostbite. Sure, let's just make those awesome.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Frostbite is a Constitution saving throw. I thought it was a regular spell. So I don't think you have any other spells that do it.
Well, okay. I guess I'll work on my carpentry skills. Not that the ship needs any fixing, but maybe I'll just make something pretty.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a carpenter's skill check.
Okay, where is that one? Hold on one second.
It's on attributes, right-hand side. Scroll to the bottom. You should see your tool proficiencies.
It doesn't have that. It has Tinker's tools there.
Do you not have... That probably means your character doesn't have carpenter's tools, or you don't have the proficiency in carpenter's tools.
Oh, I thought we chose that when we
No, you chose
upgraded the
chose
system.
Tinker's tools. So if you want to do
Oh, did I?
Tinker's tools,
Okay,
that's
well,
fine.
all right, we'll do that.
All right. Next time you use Tinker's tools, you get a +2 bonus. +1 bonus after that. Next up,
Cool
Zephyr.
beans.
And
Zephyr
someone
wants
just
to
dropped a
hold-
lightning bolt on the fucking.
A whole.
That
Yeah.
was
the
me. You're
world.
welcome. I don't know why it was selected, but we just did that.
The whole
Waterdeep
world
is gone.
exploded. Go ahead, Zephyr.
Zephyr wants to work on his acrobatics.
Give me an acrobatics check. Okay, with 7. Perhaps you're tired, distracted, or struggling with something. Either way, your training does not. Sif,
I'll take. Could I take a?
you get a point of inspiration if you want to reroll it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay, so the next time you use it, you get a +2 bonus. Sif,
Same thing. I'll do the language.
go for it. Oh,
3.
3, you make no progress. Domo,
Making beer, poison beer. Nothing.
5, even. If you roll a 4 on your on your thing, no, you don't.
One.
You put a bug in it by accident. Finn, what do you do?
I think Finn was working on the language last time.
Yeah, I believe Elvish.
Yeah, Finn's gonna try that again.
Oh, sure. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check.
Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, 14. All right. So you show improvement. You get a point towards your language or tool. On your character sheet, under features, you should see learning language Elvish. There's a number of uses in there. Change that number and add +1 to it.
So wait, where is that?
Under your character sheet, under features. It says out of 32. It should be out of 16.
And so I add one more to it, right?
Yes, just give me 1 second now.
So it'll be 3 in total.
Yes, you should have 3 in total. Exactly. Okay, and that's everybody. And so it takes you guys a little bit longer than you anticipated, but you do get to the whale bones without further issue. And when you arrive in the sort of vicinity of where this whale bones gate is believed to be, navigating through the small stones that make up the majority of the whale bones, the large carcasses, the long dead whales sticking out of the top of the water. The Kraken Gate key begins to sort of thrum and glow faintly, indicating that you are close to the location of the gate itself. And so you continue sailing for a little bit, trying to find the exact location. And finally, you reach a particular section in the middle of the ocean where these, as your ship sails over it, the water begins to glow and an arcane mark begins to slowly appear beneath your ship. Both this arcane mark and the key itself begin thrumming in unison. All it requires is somebody to activate it in order to transport the ship. Does somebody wish to activate the Kraken Gate key?
I'll activate it.
All right. You walk over to the stone and you activate it in some magical way, and your ship is like a pillar of light appears around the base of this magical circle that's completely engulfs your ship. It fires off into the air in a dizzying array of colors, and your ship is suddenly not where it once was. Instead, it's sort of traveling at an incredible speed through some strange pathway between 2 points in space. Despite this movement, you don't feel any force against you or acceleration. You don't feel wind pushing against you at all. You just know that the ship is moving, even though it's not moving at the same time. While you're moving through this extra dimensional space, you notice that there are like eyes looking at you from the distance, staring at you intently and curiously. Several of them are particularly large and sinister. They look at you, Chimera, in particular, with a particular with a thirst. And with that, your ship is immediately brought into a new location, somewhere completely different. Your eyes begin to acclimate to the change in tones. The heat is much different now that you're on the southern hemisphere of the world, and you are all brought to Kalimshan.
Did I recognize those eyes at all?
They are the eyes of the Kraken.
Gotcha.
Of the what? You cut off for me.
The Kraken.
The patron? Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing here?
It's been years since I've been here.
Do you recognize it, Sathir?
Well, some things have changed, but still has more or less the same feel, I suppose.
They read about the desert. That's a large body. Take us
So
several
you're-
days at least to get to the middle of that.
See off in the distance, some miles away from the Kraken Gate that you arrived from, is this large, bustling city built into the rocky barrier mountains that form the coastline that surround what, from your current perspective, appears to be an endless desert. You can hear the sounds of crowds in the distance. You can see the busy and dizzying arrays of merchants and hawkers and strange people from an entirely different part of the world that many of you have never interacted with. Collection of primarily humans and dwarves, tieflings, and even genasi, specifically fire genasi, as the blood of genies runs deep within the people here. You find yourselves in Kalimshan, slowly floating towards Kalimport, the largest city in the entire region, one of the oldest cities in the human realm.
I didn't think it'd be so grand. This rivals Baldur's Gate.
It's very beautiful.
It's immense, even far larger than Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter combined. It seems almost amazing to some of you. How could humans have possibly built such a massive city?
It's kind of dry, but it's gorgeous.
Right. Once we get the boat ported, I'll even take you to my fondest memory of this area.
Oh,
What would that be?
Well, if it's still there, that is. The Grand Library of Records. It's
Oh,
amazing.
more books.
Well, of course. I'm Sathir, if you don't know. I'm all about history. I'm always in the books.
I
they
don't know
kind
if-
of
I know that
disintegrate
about you.
underwater.
Do you usually use like something in stone, Finn? Something
Yeah,
that lasts better?
stone. Well, there also is some books, but they're enchanted so they don't get wet. But usually stone. Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's better than handling a wet piece of paper, dear.
Yeah, some of the old texts are paper, but they're, like I said, enchanted.
Zephyr looks at Sif. Says, "The Grand Library. I'll take you there. It's beautiful."
I'd be more than happy to see it. The city seems a bit of a wonder to me.
Yeah,
Do we have any
bit
idea
too-
how far away we even are from where we started? Are we the entire length of, like, let's say, Waterdeep down to Baldur's Gate or something? That how many times that over?
Let's see. Kai, who is proficient with Navigator's tools, would know. From Velen, it would take you guys like 3 to 4 weeks of travel to get here.
Okay, so a considerable distance. Is that what you did earlier, Zephyr, in your life when you visited here for the first time? Did you take a ship over a long period of time?
I do remember it being a very long trip. We made a few stops along the way, though. It's been years. I was a child last time I was here. I didn't really travel back here. Of course, it was safer back in Neverwinter.
And not exactly an easy place to reach again once you've left. Well, I'd like to see the library.
Well, follow me.
I think it's best if we all stay together in an unknown city.
Sounds
Chimera.
good to me.
Chimera, this one's really going to impress you.
I'm excited for you to show me around. And when Zephyr mentioned how much he loved books and brought up the library, Chimera smiles and thinks back to the moment she first met Zephyr as a child, and he was holding a little book and keeping to himself at a very social party. And Chimera approaching him and mocking him for reading in the middle of a soiree. And that's how me and Zephyr became friends. So it brings back a core memory.
Absolutely. It's probably my first memory of you, to be honest. And ever since
Yeah.
then, you've always astonished me. Your stories excited me for days. I would just go home pondering about them, wondering how this party was, or what that politician said and gossiped about.
I was always fascinated to see what novels you were getting up to. You had stories of your own too, Zephyr. Before you may have not been aware of them.
Well, that's a story for another time, I suppose. Here,
Before we leave the ship, could I cast alarm on the entrance of the boat?
Sure. Yeah, you do so. And don't forget, the crew
Sweet.
members are going to stay on board as well.
I could, with the spell, dictate who doesn't trip the alarm. So I
Okay.
would
Go ahead.
I would go and I would say the barbarian, our party, and Cora, and the and Kleptikos, like, and Scuttles, like, wouldn't be able to trip the alarm. It would be somebody that didn't come with us on the Sea Skater that would trip it.
An unknown third party.
Sure, you cast your magical alarm spell, preventing unwanted people from approaching without setting it off. And your group is permitted to enter the city of Callum. One of the first things that you notice is, besides being beautiful and old and built into this rugged mountain range, There are Genasi shopkeepers hawking wares aggressively, slaves carrying wealthy pashas on palanquin, flanked by tiefling guards, scantily, and also as you navigate through these narrow, sandy, and mosaic-tiled streets, you can see scantily clad women teasing and grabbing at the group of you and other passerbys, hoping to entice you inside of brothels with lewd offerings.
Finn looks physically uncomfortable with the fire genasi all around him.
You can see many of them give you kind of odd looks as well. Some of them somewhat aggressively. Some even spit on the ground as they kind of walk past you. You're not necessarily sure that you understand the gesture, being from a completely different culture and climate, but nonetheless, to some of you in the group, it seemed at least partially aggressive.
Is there going to be a problem? Finn, that was particularly rude of that person.
I just know from the elders of my clan that we don't usually get along with fire genasi for some reason. Might be the fact that we're, water, the fire, kind of elements clashing type of thing.
Okay, so nothing personal then. It's just they don't like you for you.
Yeah, just casual racism,
Well, these.
And that's okay. At least the wood elves and the high elves don't really see eye to eye on a lot of things. They're a bit uptight. There's come up many times between Chimera and I.
Oh, stop it. It's not that bad. I don't spit on you.
It's true.
Come on,
These
Finn.
are more aggressive.
Chimera laughs it off.
Come on, Finn. Lighten up. Why don't you just ask one of them to take you upstairs for a few moments, and you'll like them as well as everyone else does.
What?
You'll get used to that.
For those of you in the group, so Finn understands this sort of strange relationship between fire genasi and water genasi, but the rest of the group also has certain things that they can contribute to the knowledge surrounding this city. Zathir, of course, being from here, knows that his family has a loft somewhere within the walls of the city itself. But he himself has never visited this location. Does not know its
You have a house
location.
here.
He also knows about the Grand Library of Records, like you mentioned before. Sif, as the warrior of the group, you have heard tales of perils of the Kalam Desert, just north and to the west of the city itself. It is filled to the brim with dangerous bandit groups that attack caravans that pass through it. Because of this, you notice the ranks of mercenaries, usually of tiefling blood, that have moved to the city to work as mercenaries when the rest of the Sword Coast denied them opportunity. They form large units that defend caravans that brave the road that strikes through the middle of the desert in order to ferry goods from one place to another. Kai, as a sorceress, you recognize there is an innate magical energy that flows through many of the people here. Perhaps a remnant of the genie blood that flows through all people of Kalimshan, even to some degree Zathir, although his is in not too great a quantity. Chimera, as a member of the Kraken cult, you know that the cult has very little influence in Kalimshan. None of the records that you've heard have mentioned anything about the cult coming this far south. It is more purely restricted to the northern region of the Sword Coast. And Domo, as a member of the church, you know that Umberlee has very little sway here. Northern gods are weak this far south, past the equator. And the place that Zathir is looking for, Temple of Eternal Sands, rings in some memory that you have of a book you once read. It's said to have been part of a great city of the dead, located somewhere in what is now known as the Kellam Desert. It has since been lost to time. You do have an idea, however, that there is a location within this city that could produce some results for you. There is a grand temple to the god Osiris known as the Halls of the Shepherd, and perhaps that could be a strong location to find more information.
This is I have heard of the Halls of the Shepherd just through my learnings of like the gods and stuff.
Exactly.
But okay. I was going to ask Zithir, is there something specific you're looking for in the library? Now that we're here, do you have any idea how to find that temple again?
Well, it just so be that we're heading there right now. I figured the library would be the first place to check out. My next bet would be a particular location that has quite shady characters, but I'm sure we could keep our cool. Why? Do you know of any place around here?
Well, I wouldn't mind heading to the library, but before we head to those shady characters, I do suggest we take a look in the temple here. I've heard stories of Osiris, and the temple you're looking for may have a connection that we can find there.
Wait a minute. Now, these wouldn't be the same priests that were after me earlier. Remember that one back then that tried to kill me?
I believe they said they were priests of Osiris. Or associated with the Temple of Osiris, rather.
If that is the case, I suppose I may have to go undercover. Or perhaps you should go without me. I don't want to risk getting flawed again, or risking any of you guys getting hurt.
From what I understand, they do hold great power here, and I would be surprised if even you walking around the city does not alert them to your presence.
Yes, they may already know you're here.
I mean, I haven't been here since I was a child. I guess they wouldn't identify me if that's the case.
They were able to find you halfway across the world. Maybe, do we know if Lady Ashira? She was in a temple in Kalimshan. Is this the same temple in this city? Does the temple here have a name?
My guess is the Temple of Eternal Sands. And that's where we'll be able to find Lady Ashura. But I suppose we could find some information somewhere around here. I agree, we should probably check out the temple as well after the library. What do you say?
I do think disguising yourself now might not be such a bad idea. Although, whatever way they were able to find you before wasn't simply by sight, I don't think.
Right, that's why I had my cloak on. I already knew I should probably hide myself.
Is the Temple of Eternal Sands a temple to Osiris? Or is it a temple of something else?
It's also a temple of Osiris. Well, that's what I know, at least.
It is more mystical, though, right? You said it appeared from the sands, or was that, you know, after a long journey, it seemed to appear as such?
Right. In my dreams, it really was magnificent. The sand turned in a tornado. I was in the middle of the desert. And I saw this giant tornado of sand. And as the sand got thicker, a temple started originating out of quicksand from the bottom, slowly coming up to this grand building. Unfortunately, I don't. It was the only clue I had was the desert.
There's plenty of that here.
Can Finn make a perception check if anyone's like tailing us?
You wouldn't make a perception check. That would be against your passive perception. Your character looks over their shoulder, though, to sort of like be a little bit more alert and on the lookout. You don't notice anything. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of people here. There are definitely a lot of people looking at you specifically, Finn. Like they're just not pleased that you're here for whatever reason that might be. You have your suspicions. It seems like most of the attention towards the group is directed towards you.
Finn looks directly into the eyes of one of the fire genasi and does that.
He looks at
That's
you.
it.
Give me just roll a d20. He looks at you and he spits on the ground. Puh! He says something in the language of Kalimshan and then he walks away.
Thank you. I was feeling kind of dry.
I think we need to make sure Finn stays close to us. He's got a bit of a target on his back. Judging by...
I don't.
Go ahead.
I don't feel exactly comfortable here either, and I'm not sure I would be welcomed too happily into the Temple of Osiris.
We may not want to go there. I mean, looking at the stuff we found out already, it seems there's two parties at play here. This lady, Ashira, and then whoever's doing stuff at the Temple of Eternal Sand seem to be two separate entities. So if Lady Ashira is at the temple in this town and they're looking for Zathir, I don't think we should go there at all. Unless Zathir wants to go there and kind of try to explain what happened, but they're demanding you return what you stole, and it doesn't seem to me like that's possible unless you're dead.
I am unsure whether I don't think I've heard of Lady Ashira directly besides her dealings with Zathir, but it's possible they would be willing to strike some sort of deal, although I don't think it would be good for us. So from what I do know, there will be more information in there to find the Temple of the Shifting Sands. That's right?
Yeah, Eternal Sands.
Eternal Sands. But it may be more prudent to sneak in there or find another way in.
All right, so your group finds yourselves here wandering around the winding streets of between these very old-looking buildings. Where would you like to go? You have a number of locations.
By the way,
go ahead.
If you guys need a distraction, I'm basically a walking one, so Yeah.
All right. So you have a number of locations you can go to that you know about. There's the Grand Library of Records. There's the Halls of the Shepherd. There are some other locations that mostly Zathir knows about, but otherwise, the city is your oyster. So what would you like to do?
Well, are we at the library?
There's
Is
a
that where you
tattoo
guys would like to
parlor.
go?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Mhm.
So you guys
Sure.
head to the Grand Library of Records, and as you step inside, it is an immense library detailing the many records of citizens of Kalimshan, documents of ownerships for houses, slaves, other forms of property, things like that, as well as essential records for history and geography, all pertaining to Kalimshan and the surrounding region. If you wish to perform research, we can absolutely spend time here using the same rules as we did previously for research back when you were in uh, Candlekeep, which is, I believe, a week of research to find some information. Now, I will tell you this. Information regarding the location is going to have to be collected kind of piecemeal. The majority of clues that you will get surrounding there are a number of clues you can receive surrounding the potential location. None of this information is written in any one location. In total, there are, I believe, 9 different clues that can be received. The more clues you have, the more information you will have to find it. Because finding the temple is a puzzle in itself, or finding and then getting into the temple is a puzzle in itself. So conducting research here, using those standard research rules, which I'm going to pull up in just a second.
What about something quicker, just like maybe looking up where my father owned a home?
That's
If
something
he's still-
where you could also, during this time period of research, so basically the way research works is you perform a skill check. You guys spend a little bit of money talking to people, getting access to information, going through the library, stuff like that. And depending on how successful your role is, you get to ask a number of questions, and I answer them truthfully based off of what it is that your characters were performing research on. And so one of the questions that you can ask is where the location of this place is. That would be how you would obtain that particular the
see.
location of your house. But at the end of the day, it is going to take you guys X amount of days in order to complete the research, just because you're going through so much. Not just the library itself, but also the people you're talking to, contacts, stuff like that. It takes you all over the city.
Anyone else interested in doing research?
I mean, I'm not sure how helpful I would be, but I'm willing to help.
We could also break up in parties, right?
Absolutely, you
I
guys
don't
can
want
do
to
whatever
split
you
in
want.
this town.
Yeah, are we kind of like consolidating it? Like we're just going like what each of us is doing, like kind of day by day, or
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, we
So
could
hold on, let me see.
gather
Research.
around and figure out all the information we collected.
Oh, yeah. So the way it works is you spend a week doing research. Each of you who is conducting research spends 50 gold pieces. For every additional 50 gold pieces spent, you get to add plus one to the roll. So you have to spend $50 gold pieces to buy in. Every additional 50 GP spent adds plus 1 to your roll. And then you roll a d20 at the end of this. Oh, and you can only add up to a maximum of plus 6 with the extra money. At the end of this week, you roll a d20. You can ask up to 3 questions, and if you get a 21 plus on your roll. So doing as well of a job as you possibly can on research is helpful. And during that time, you don't have to pretend like your character is just sitting in the library reading a book. Like, you tell me what your character is doing during that week to obtain the information. Are you talking to NPCs? Are you going to temples to speak to people? Are you going through the shadier parts of town, like giving people money who are giving you clues to the next location? So like you guys kind of narrate to me what it is you're doing to obtain this information.
Okay.
I could, well, I do have the map of Kalinsham, don't I? I could. They gave it to us, so we could share that around, right?
Yeah.
I'll explain to everyone kind of some of the areas I remember. Like I'll tell them where there's a really cool. There's a very interesting inn called the Splitting Camel. I remember my father had a meeting in there, and obviously took me along. Then it's safe and reasonably priced. And however, there is an interesting stuffed animal, as you could imagine, a camel, and they have an axe on it, and that's kind of what they have on the entrance of this particular place.
Okay, so what is so you're giving them a bunch of information about the location.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys this document. This has general information regarding Kalimshan. You should have access to this in your journals. Kalimshan is the region. Kalimport is the city that you're in. So your characters would all have access to this information. All right. So that being said, let's go around the table, as it were, and we'll figure out what everybody wants to do. Starting with, let's go with party. Starting with Chimera. What would Chimera like to do?
I think Chimera is going to be bold and tag team with Cora to investigate the halls of the Shepherd.
Okay, cool. So let's start with that. Or let's just start with what it is that you were trying to do. Then we'll move on to the next person, and then we'll figure out what everybody gets after the fact. Kai. During this time that you're spending in Kalimport, some people are doing research for the next few days. What is Kai doing during this time? Is she helping out? Is she doing something else entirely? Nina, you there? Did you fall asleep? You pooping? Nina, wake up. Alright, I don't know if she's off comms or if she fell asleep. Alright, let's move on to Zephyr.
She's in your house, right?
She's downstairs. She hasn't been feeling
Go
particularly
find her?
well, so she might have fallen asleep. She has her headphones on. Maybe this will wake her up.
No,
Don't
Kai,
woke
not
me
again.
Oh, she's not in the
Is
game
that
anymore.
news?
Oh, I think she quit out
Oh,
for the
shit.
evening. She's not feeling particularly well. All right, so we'll just we won't bother with Kai. Let's have Zephyr.
Zethir's going to be in the library. He's going to... Yeah.
Doing research. Cool. Sif.
Sif recognizes some of the uniforms and stuff these people are wearing, and he's heard stories about this area. He hadn't quite put two and two together that, oh, those are people from Kalimshan. So with that bit of information, he's gonna kind of try to go and go to like gambling dens and hang out and like just kind of chat with mercenaries who frequent the desert and try to get a handle on like, oh, have you seen anything new recently, like a temple raising out of the ground, like stuff like that, like new rumors of mercenaries in the desert.
Cool. All right. And then how about Domo?
I too am gonna go conduct my research at the halls of the Shepherd. I think I'm gonna like paying part of the money. I'm envisioning as like I'm tithing to the church and making offerings because these people are bringing their dead there. So I'm leaving offerings for the people who have died, and I'm talking with the people who pray there for their dead, and I'm just trying to understand their religion a bit more, and any whispers of this temple come up or stuff like that.
And how about Finn?
But just real quick, I'm gonna do the same thing that Domo's doing, and for the cost, it'll be me like intentionally losing at like card games to get them to be more open.
Okay, cool. I like that. Finn, how are you choosing to help out?
Finn's gonna go to some of the shadier parts of town and talk to some of the mercenaries, and talk to a few some of the muscle that's been hired around town, and see if he can get any information.
Very cool. All right, so we're gonna start off with Chimera then. Chimera, very first thing we're gonna do, you're gonna remove 50 gold pieces from your character. This is just gonna be the initial buy-in of the research that you're doing, and you and Quora head on your own to the Halls of the Shepherd. It's a large temple devoted to Osiris where citizens of Kalimshan bring their dead to be prepared for the afterlife. And you can see that there's a large procession of people that are beginning to that are moving into the Halls of the Shepherd, which are built kind of like a almost like the Greek pantheon. These tall pillars that ascend high into the sky, with a platform at the very top, a roof, and you can tell that the majority of the people that are carrying their dead, either in wagons or in their arms, wrapped in white fabric, the vast majority of them are slaves. And you get the feeling that these people are bringing their own loved ones here as well. After all, slaves are the only people who offer any kind of respect to other slaves in this area. As you move past them, they avert their eyes from you, and they speak in a strange dialect of common that is a little bit difficult for you to completely grasp. You do catch words here and there, which are primarily prayers to Osiris to help shepherd their loved ones to the next life. You and Quora make your way inside, and how do you conduct your research?
I would say partnering with Quora and maybe even using Gust. We would be kind of being like flies on the wall. So like I would be sitting in the pews, like attending like the funeral processions and rituals, kind of like trying to overhear like how the slaves like died, if they were potentially like working in the desert, like what the main cause of death was, like what dangers like the party would need to look out for when we embark on the desert. I assume I would have Quora like probably be a little more in the shadows, like, and stealthy, trying to get closer to the main people of the church, like the priests and priestesses, to see if any of them mention Zathir or the curse. Basically information specific to Zathir, his father, his family, and the situation he's in. And the bird, I would probably have Gust like fly to, if the church has a second floor or a second tier, where priests and priestesses kind of like congregate, like a private area, like where they might sleep or eat. Have Gust perch on their open window to see if he could get any information similar to Quora that maybe they're not discussing among like the common folk or the slaves during these funeral processions.
Cool. All right. So you spend a couple of days doing this in and out of this location, reconvening with your group to discuss and come up with new tactics. And over the course of this week of research, you ultimately come to some conclusion. How much money would you like to spend? up to, so right now you've already spent 50 gold pieces. Every additional 50 gold pieces adds +1 to the roll to a maximum of +6.
I'm only gonna keep the 50.
Okay. I'm going to say because you have 2 NPCs assisting you, you're going to get +1 to the roll as well. So go ahead and give me a roll a d20 and add 1 to this roll. With a 10, you get 1 piece of lore regarding a particular location. And at the halls of the shepherd, you catch wind of a couple of particular people that are wandering about, primarily priests or imams devoted to Osiris. And if you don't, and Cora sort of clues you in, he says, I think this one might have a bit of a brain on. He seems particularly knowledgeable about the history of the Kowloon Desert. And the two of you manage to get an audience with this man. He seems enamored with the magical flying bird that you bring with him, and you have an interesting conversation surrounding that. And he tells you what he knows about the Temple of Eternal Sands, which is unfortunately not too much. But he says, as a child, there was a particular, there was something that was a common saying around the people that lived in the Bedouin tent city that I was a part of, which is that in order to get to the Temple of Eternal Sands, the serpent always points the way.
Interesting. Okay.
Moving on to Zathir. How do you conduct your research?
Well, I'm going to be in the library, and I have a few questions.
Okay.
And these books better answer him.
All right, so you're in the library. You're looking up all this. You're going through the vast number of records, trying to find information about where your family may be, or where they were from. If you could find some connection that would prove that you are in fact the son of your family. And it's
Right.
going to take you a little bit of time to do all of this. How much money would you like to spend to give you additional bonuses to the?
To give additional bonuses?
Yes. So if you were listening before, you have to pay the initial 50 gold pieces. So right now, go ahead and remove 50 gold pieces from your character sheet, and then you can spend additional money. And for every 50 gold pieces you spend, up to +6, you can add +1 to the roll. So you can spend up to 300 gold pieces to give yourself +6 to the roll. And it's not a skill check; it's a flat D20 roll.
Okay. All right. So in that case, I'll use 300.
Okay. So you're giving yourself +6 to the roll. Go ahead and roll a D20. Do you want to use lucky?
I will definitely use lucky.
Then you can use lucky.
So I'm clicking lucky.
Don't
I need to
even
click
worry
lucky?
about clicking it. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't do anything. Just roll a D20 and roll another D20. And whichever one is higher is the one that you get. All right, a 19 plus 6 is 25. Go ahead and subtract 300 gold pieces from you. So you conduct very thorough research here. You're in your element. Your parents have taught you the finer laws of the strange ways that the Kalashites maintain their libraries and their records. Strange to people in the Sword Coast, not of course strange to the people here. You grease the wheels a little bit, knowing that you have to kind of, in order to get access to very particular records, you have to pay fees or fines and air quotes. And so you do so. You're required to bring sort of proof of your personhood, that you are in fact the child your parents, who are citizens of this city. And you manage to find some way to prove that as well. You get 3 pieces of lore. So the first piece of lore that you receive is going to be a freebie. So you don't this won't count towards your other 3, which is the location of your parents' lot, which is somewhere in the city, obviously. It has been abandoned for quite some time, and the person that you're speaking to, the clerk at this library, he says, don't be surprised if you go there and it's been completely ransacked. Places that go abandoned for that long, they never stay full of belongings for a very long time after. After that, for the remaining 3 pieces of lore that you find, you discover little bits and pieces in a bunch of different excerpts from different people in different records that explain what you surmise to be the location of the Temple of Eternal Sands. You learn that, and this is not a piece of lore, but you just learn this in general, that it is located and hidden inside of what appears to be a perpetual sandstorm. And that in order to get to the temple itself, a group has to be dedicated and of strong will to get through the sandstorm and persevere. At the very beginning of the sandstorm, when you finally get off of the road where a serpent statue points in the direction of the location you must go, you will find a torch, and this torch sort of indicates the beginning of the barrier between normal reality and the altered reality the Temple of Eternal Sand sits in. And the first bit of knowledge you learn is that half of the trip when traveling through the sandstorm was spent moving north. The second bit of lore you learn is when someone, this person who supposedly reached the Temple of Eternal Sands, started their trip by traveling west. And the final bit of lore you learn is this person never moved in the same direction more than twice in a row except north.
Could I please have a copy of that in writing? Thank you.
Moving on to Sif. How do you conduct your research?
Civ is going to go around to various bars and haunts and try to get involved in some gambling and intentionally lose as a way to kind of loosen lips. And while doing that, trying to figure out if there's anything noteworthy that's been happening in the desert recently, or if there's just something like just looking for general gossip. Is there anything of note? Has anything happened? That type of deal.
How much money are you looking to spend?
If we'll do this kind of all over town, and in the process of doing that, we'll spend about 150 gold.
150? All right, so you're going to get +3 to the roll. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll.
Just for D20?
Straight d20 +3.
$12.
So with the 12, you will find 2 pieces of lore. And so the first,
Cool.
So sort of free from the lore regarding the exact location of the temple, you ask about sort of the general goings on. And one of the things that you learn is that there has been an uprising of a particular bandit group. The name of this group is the Purple Bloods, and they are a group of hobgoblin, former mercenaries. They're incredibly well trained, almost militaristic. They have been making short work of caravans moving north that are not sufficiently defended. On top of this, you learn a little bit about the location that you're going to. You know, you're playing card games, you're having a couple drinks here and there, you're chatting with the local population, you're talking to the mercenary street toughs that work here, and some of them are regaling you with tales about how they saw this sandstorm. They've heard stories, secondhand, thirdhand even, from people who have ventured inside and have found a strange temple all the way beyond the barriers of the sandstorm. The bits of information you learn regarding it were, I traveled north, west, and east, an even number of times each. I didn't travel, and the last piece of information you find is, I didn't travel east until the latter half of the journey. Domo, how do you conduct your research?
I am taking part in the burial rites at the halls of the shepherd with the people and helping them, intern their dead. And I'm just kind of through discussion with them, asking if anybody has been interred there at the Temple of the Eternal Sands, and just have they heard of it and what they know about it.
All right. And how much, you said you were giving money in tithes and things of that nature. How much are you willing to spend?
I'll do 200.
200, so you got support to this roll. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll plus 4. All right, got a nat 20, so you're going to get all 3
Nice.
pieces. So when you first arrive, there is definitely like a look of anticipation, not from the people who belong to the church, but from the regular people themselves. They can sort of sense that you belong to another faith. But a very kindly imam, he comes out and he calms the people down. He says he has this sort of belief that all religions are really just like following the same path. And at the end of the day, our dead will go where our souls wish to go. And Osiris is not necessarily about guiding someone to a specific location, but guiding them on whatever journey that they plan to go regardless. And so he welcomes your help, especially with the handsome tithe that you're willing to give. And he introduces you to some of the people. He shows you some of their more, for lack of a better word, exotic ways of bringing these people into the next life. He talks to you about strange symbology that they have of weighing organs on a scale, of wrapping people in cloth and fragments of fabric that belong to their loved ones. And he really kind of acclimates you to the entire culture there, and you find yourself at home in this place, in this house of faith. He also tells you about some stories that he has heard as a child regarding the locations of this temple that you speak of, ancient and mythological. He regales you with a story, and the bits of information that you glean from this story are the following. And you get 3 bits. First bit is, I traveled north quite a ways from the ruined man. Second bit is, I never traveled south. And the third bit is, the lion-headed beast signaled I was nearly there. Finn, you're the last up to conduct research. How is it that you would like to perform your research? What is Finn doing?
So first thing Finn's gonna do is Finn's gonna go to the blacksmith and sell a few things while talking to him, see if he gets anything. Then after selling some things to get a bit of money, he's gonna go to the tattoo parlor, knowing that's a good place to get information, because they love to talk about tattoo parlors, and he's going to get the most expensive tattoo possible while talking to this person.
All right, so you're spending the full 300, I guess 350 in total.
Well, yeah, I saw that if I go there, I think that isn't there an expensive tattoo there that's like a special tattoo that's like
Oh yeah,
1,000?
there is a masquerade tattoo as well. It does require an attunement slot, so just so that you're aware.
Oh, how many attunement slots do I have?
Everybody has 3. Currently, you
You
only
probably
have
have plenty, right?
1 item that you're attuned to, which is your sword. So you still have access to 2.
Ooh.
So that item, the cost of that item will not contribute to the cost of the research, by the way. These are 2 separate things.
Okay. Never mind that. So he's just going to
I mean, we could say that the thing you're buying, that you're paying for, is this like extravagant 350 gold tattoo, which is not magical. It's just beautiful to look at.
Yeah, I might get I have really I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to sell. Can I sell stuff then do that?
Sure, that's totally fine.
So I would sell this glaive and the 4 hand axes.
Hold on, really quick. Let me just go here. So if you click on this guy here, you should see that he has a sell option. Buy items, sell items. Just go ahead and sell whatever it is that you wish. Don't sell anything, any features, character races. Don't mess with your character. Just sell the items.
Sell your soul. It's one of your items.
Don't sell your soul.
do
I mean,
it.
you can if
One
you want.
minor soul.
It'd be a very different campaign. Like you have your +1
Can I-
greatsword, you probably don't need any more. Go ahead, Domo.
Can I say getting in good with that Imam? Like we swapped. Like I have a bunch of holy symbols of Umberly. Can I ask him for a symbol of Osiris and we like traded?
Absolutely. Yeah. And their symbol is a crook, like a wooden crook with a spiral of fabric wrapping all the way to the top.
Cool.
All right, so Finn, you go through the process of getting this extravagant tattoo. What kind of tattoo are you getting?
I'm going to get a tattoo that is like flowing water, and it is all across my back. So like swirls of water and stuff like that.
All right. So you find at this tattoo parlor,
And a sword inside the swirls of water and stuff. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, at this tattoo parlor, you find a genasi that looks a little bit different from the others. Where the fire genasi have sort of like reddish and orange hues to their skin, you find someone that's more of like a purplish persuasion. And when you speak to them, weirdly enough, they seem like not aggressive towards you at all. And when you get speaking to them, they speak to you in Aquan. And you realize that this person is in fact half water genasi, the other half, of course, being fire genasi. And so they understand and they respect you and they appreciate you coming here and all that. Not too many people come here because of his mixed heritage, but tends to make do regardless. And so your business and patronage is appreciated. Tells you a little bit about Kalimshan. You and him get acquainted with one another. You begin asking him questions about a variety of different topics. He tells you about the dangers of the Kalim Desert, the rise of this bandit group called the Purple Bloods, which he has been accused of being a member of, but he himself is not a hobgoblin, so he tries to put that sort of discrimination aside and continue his work. At the end of the day, though, at some point during the conversation, you bring up the Temple of Elemental Sands, either specifically or as an aside, and he notes to you some information regarding it. You're spending 350 in total, correct?
Yeah, I'll take that. Do I take that out?
Yep, just subtract that, and then go ahead and roll a d20 and add 6 to the roll.
Okay, 1 minute. 350, right?
350.
And then what?
Go ahead and make a d20 roll and add 6 to the roll. Or you can just roll the d20, we'll add 6 after the fact. Alright, 16 plus 6 is 22, so you get 3 pieces of lore. So you get a lot of general information about Kalimshan, about this bandit group. about the dangers of particular locations. He tells you, don't go there, they won't be kindly to you, but if you go here, they'll be nice to you. And all this information kind of leads to the final piece of lore regarding how you get into the Temple of Elemental Sands. He regales you with a story that he heard as a child that connects one piece to another, and the information that you glean from this is the distance of my journey was 12 leagues. And so with that, you have 2 other pieces of lore that you could ask for. What kind of lore would you be interested in learning about Kalimshan or Kalimport or this particular person?
I would like to somehow get to know this person more because they're a fellow Water Genasi. I would like to know their story, or at least their half of one. And it's very interesting that their parents are 2 really opposite types of type of Genasi.
Yeah. So he says at some point on his father's side, like many of the people in Kalimport, he says that in Kalimshan in general, there was rule by the Jinn, the fire genies, basically. And they had this very powerful tyrannical rule over Kalimshan for a long time, before eventually there was this great magical sundering that ultimately broke their stranglehold on the power of Kalimshan and Kalimport and the other cities dotting the landscape. Eventually, they were usurped by a mixture of humans and halflings, and but still, the blood of the genies sort of like permeated throughout the people that lived in Kalimport. So that's what it's. His mother, however, was from the Sword Coast, and she was a merchant who traveled far and wide all along the Sword Coast, eventually making her way down here, where she met her. And there was a fling that ultimately left his mother with him in her belly. And as a child, he lived all over the Sword Coast, eventually making his way back here, where he started up his own tattoo parlor. Pursue a life of his own amongst people he was hoping to sort of become reacquainted with. However, he's been having a hard time of it because of the sort of discrimination Water Genasi face when dealing with Fire Genasi. He said he's had to struggle over the past few years. It's been kind of hard for him, but like he mentioned, he's trying the best he can, and this place is as much a home to him as any other place.
Finn would like to just say, like, oh, by the way, what's this guy's name?
This guy's name is Mizhog.
Ah, okay. And Finn would like to just, say, if things are hard here ever, I like you. You seem pretty trustworthy, and, I'm sure me and my friends could help you find a place where people would appreciate you, because you're quite the artist, and you should be appreciated.
He says that he appreciates that, and he understands and accepts the gesture. He says that if he ever gets a chance to see you again and things change, that perhaps he'll venture with you. For now, his place is here at this tattoo parlor, but he does give you a future 10% off on your next tattoo.
Oh.
All right.
And I get one more piece of lore, right?
Yes, you do.
What would Zathir feel like would be a very important piece of lore that we should ask for?
I don't know. Matt, what would be a piece of lore that Zathir would ask?
Because Finn probably would be asking questions that Zathir would be asking him to ask. Because He's not that smart.
Sure. Maybe you've heard the conversation that Sif was talking about regarding the Temple of Osirian. Maybe you could find out what the story is on that. If there is the Temple of Osirian, or is there a person named Osirian, and have you ever heard of him?
Have you ever heard of the Temple of Osirian?
Yeah, they're not too welcome around here, primarily because they have a very different view of the faith of Osiris than you would find at the halls of the Shepherd, for example. They're seen as more fanatical in their beliefs. They were pushed out of Kalimshan quite a long time ago and made their way north, is the last I heard. Somewhere in Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate, one of the northern cities. But you won't really find them around here. Every now and then, people that are followers come here for pilgrimage, but beyond that, they don't have much of a stronghold in Kalimshan.
Well, thank you for the talk, and thank you for the awesome tattoo, and I will visit again and recommend you to all my friends.
Bring them around. And with
Absolutely. In fact,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I forgot.
And with that, your group has conducted their research. A week goes by, so I'm going to move the calendar forward. Oop. It is now the 6th of Tarsak. Your group is becoming pretty acclimated to the city itself. I'm going to say paying for lodging and stuff like that comes out of that initial 50 gold pieces buy-in, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. But your group is becoming acquainted with the layouts of the city streets, with the foods, the sights, the smells. You definitely, many of you, and especially those of you who are more averse to slavery than others, like Finn, for example, you are very easily noticing the strong hierarchy that is here. The vast majority of the population is enslaved by a very tiny portion of incredibly wealthy merchant lords. And you always see these merchant lords moving with great entourages of mercenaries to protect them. Because at any moment, something could happen that could cause an uprising. But the slaves here do seem fairly sort of beaten down and disarmed. None of them are in chains or anything like that, but they do bear these small tattoos on the sides of their faces that designate them as that designate which person they belong to. And entire generations of children are born into this cycle. It just seems sort of intrinsic to the lifeblood of the city here. But regardless, your group, well, I guess you guys can tell me if you guys are enjoying your time here, if you're having struggles with people here or anything else.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm definitely not, almost not enjoying it here. Just spending as little time on the streets as possible. She's checking out some of the shops, but the climate and everything is also not really agreeable with her.
Yeah, Finn is pretty nonplussed by the place and is actively thinking about trying to start a slave uprising.
I think Zathir, even Zathir, he remembers it differently because obviously his father kept in, he held him from seeing the truth of behind Kalimshan. So he doesn't feel comfortable there either.
Yeah. And how about the rest of you? Sif, Chimera?
Sif is kind of the city is like a lot of other cities to him, but it's a lot bigger, and he thinks it's actually very interesting. He doesn't mind it at all, and he's mostly just kind of curious about how hunting is like outside the city walls, and if there's anything to catch.
You do notice that there are a lot of like exotic animals to eat here, like slabs of giant scorpion meat, roast tarantula leg, and even
How
more
big is the
innocuous-
tarantula leg?
How big is
What does
a-
it say about the size of the spider itself?
Okay, well, just give me 1 second. You guys asked
No,
the
you
most
don't do too
interesting
specific,
questions. Let's see, giant tarantula creature,
It's the size of a
tarantula.
a tank.
goat leg.
Yeah, let's say that. About the size of a goat leg. Because a giant spider is medium sized in this game.
Never hunted a
Oh, I'm
desert
sorry.
spider
Giant
before, I bet
spiders are
they hide.
large, so they're 10 feet by 10 feet. So each leg is probably like 6
Size of
to
a
10
human.
feet long.
Yeah, longer than that.
I mean, Sif is used to fighting or hunting spiders in forests, but never in the desert. He's wondering how they hide, and that's where kind of his mind is currently.
You hear stories about pits of sand, that spiders that cover themselves in sand and leap out of the sandy dunes onto unsuspecting prey. You also do catch word that the best way to travel along the desert is by camel, and that there are places all over the city that are willing to rent or sell camels. They are just the most versed at traveling through sand and at keeping themselves hydrated for long periods of time.
Sweet. Sif will look in trying to get a hold of some camels for us.
All right, you do so. How much is no?
We buy your camels from you.
Yeah.
Rent your camels from you.
To buy a camel, it's 50 gold pieces. I'll say to rent a camel for a week is 5 gold pieces a week.
Okay, I'll rent us. For now, I'll rent us 6 camels, unless somebody finds a reason for us to rent more.
All right, you got 6 camels.
It's 30 gold, right?
Yep. I'll say the rental starts whenever you guys leave the city and use them.
Okay, I'll just detract the money now.
I'll say to sort of terminate the research portion. You guys all come together at a particular location to discuss further. You have a couple of locations. There's a couple of different inns that you can go by. You could potentially meet at the place that Zathir has discovered is his familial home. But where would you guys like to meet?
Let's see Zathir's house.
Yeah, why don't we, let's say I haven't discovered it yet. Why don't we all, I'll bring all you guys and actually like introduce you to it and say, hey, this is kind of where I live.
Very cool. So you guys gather at a particular location inside of the, not inside of the palace, but inside of the jewel ward here. And inside the jewel ward, you can see all these lavish houses, especially compared to the ones sort of scattered further around in the more like ground location. These are where like the what would be considered like upper middle to lower high class people would be living. The Grand Ward is upper class, Palace Ward is like the royalty of the city, the pashas and the merchant lords. And you come to one particular house, and as you go, navigate through these winding ancient roads, you finally arrive at the location that you've been dreaming about for quite some time. This place that only in your deepest memories you can even think of. And you conjure up an image of it in your mind, and when you finally see it in front of you, it is almost exactly as you pictured it after several years of neglect. So it has been completely abandoned. The windows have been caved in. Vines and other foliage are growing along the outside of it. You could see the The clay that makes up the walls has been cracked in locations. Wood has been splintered. The door has been sort of nailed shut to prevent, in a small attempt to prevent people from going inside, but it doesn't seem to have done much good. Your group
What do you
proceeds
think?
inside. Oh, go ahead.
What do you think? Shall we? Break in.
It's your home. Doesn't sound like breaking into me.
Satyr will attempt to like break in and loosen up the board so we could all kind of get in.
Sure. I'll say when you found the record of this location, you also basically proved that this place belongs to you. So for all intents and purposes, this place is yours. So it's not breaking in. It's all Zathir's at this point.
Well,
And,
you said it was broken in before, so there might be someone still in there.
That's
So
true.
I'm going to be
It's
careful.
still
about
legally yours.
it.
We have
So, yeah,
right
so
to just
you-
walk in the front door.
I'll be careful about it. I'm gonna sneak in there.
Yeah, if we look around the outside, can we tell if it's currently inhabited? Like,
It
doing all
doesn't
of
seem
our,
like it. It could very well be. It's hard. You can't really tell just looking at a building.
There's
if there's someone
hobos in
inside, right?
maybe we just go inside. It's your house, Zathir.
It's a drug home now. Yeah, Satyr will head in there, and it's abandoned as you said.
Yeah, I mean, clearly at some point somebody was squatting inside of here, but they have since long gone. You conjure up images in your head of the lavish furniture that your parents owned, tapestries, elegant pottery, and decorations, and all of that is gone. The walls are peeling and cracked. The wood of the doors and the door frames is splintered. The floors are caked with dirt and bits of rubble from the decaying ceiling. It is a shadow of its former self.
As Satyr walks in, he says, "Amazing. It's like it's still here. The rug, the couch where I used to sit on, as Nanny read me a book. Come over here. This is my room."
It's not much left.
He opens the door. He sees a busted rocking chair. The bed is all toppled, broken up. Zathir sees an old doll he played with, but the head is torn off and the guts are coming out of it. Zathir picks it up, kind of remembers it, and says, "Bilbo, I remember this. Believe it or not, this is my buddy Bilbo." Tosses it to Sif.
He looks like a good buddy. Do you think he'd join the crew?
Yeah, I'm sure one of us could fix him up. And look, the head over here. Zathir finds the head in a corner, with cobwebs and all sorts of dirt. Tosses it to Domo. "You think you could do a little mending there?"
I can't magically mend, but I'm sure we could get this stitched up.
Zathir will kind of walk to you guys and grab both pieces again. And he will try to wish it together by using mending.
Yeah, sure enough, the two pieces fuse back together. It's still dirty, but it's not broken.
Seems like this place may become a home for you once more, Zathir.
He walks back around with a little work, dusts off some parts of the wall.
Nothing that can't be saved by a little bit of effort, and then Sif will walk over to one of the windows that's been like shattered in and like kind of laying on the floor, and there's some like spare seeds for whatever kind of type of plant might survive in this town. There's some greener areas, and he'll just lay his hand down on the seeds and start to bloom them, so that they start to cover the window in some kind of like ivy, and restore some life to the scene. Nothing nature can't fix in time.
And
Well,
also, like,
go ahead.
Right.
Go. Oh no, I was
Uh,
gonna ask to do like an investigation. So whatever you want to say.
yeah, I just wanted to say also that sometimes the people that come in and loot places miss some pretty important things, and I'll cast detect magic and take a look around.
Cast detect magic, but you don't find anything. You do find what appeared to be hidden coffers, but over the past decade or so that this place has been abandoned, it has been pretty thoroughly ransacked.
It has one IOU from some guy named Barry written on paper.
But it appears to have at one point been a vault, a small vault, but a vault nonetheless has been cracked open, and all of its belongings have been removed.
Is this particular neighborhood still like middle to high class?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, maybe a gut reno wouldn't be bad. Cool. I mean, Zethir will also do an investigation, but it seems like it's been picked.
Yeah, it's been pretty thoroughly ransacked.
Any particular items that could be found that possibly belong to like my father or mother
It's been
to
pretty,
cherish?
It's been pretty thoroughly ransacked.
Kind of in that vein, not something you could steal, but like, do we see a thing on the wall where it's like a Zethir was this tall at 3 years old and this tall at 3.5 years old, like one of those things everybody does, like on a doorway or something?
Yeah, it's right over here by the kitchen.
Yeah, you find that little markings on the wall that indicate the growth of Zethir.
Well, you were tall early, Zethir. You really sprouted up.
Well, this place does bring back memories. And what do you know? I got Bilbo back. Zethir would stash Bilbo in his little pouch.
Well, now that the owner's home, we might as well make sure this place can't get broken into again. And then over time, not like all at once, Sif will help with like fixing the windows and patching the holes and like kind of making this place more secure for someone to live in again.
Sure. Yeah. All right. You guys, Zethir, you own this place. This is all yours. You do whatever you want with it. You could sell it if you wanted to. At its current state, you wouldn't get that much. If you wanted to,
Good land though.
if you wanted to do
Prime real
anything
estate.
with it, you just tell me what it is that you want to do.
Sweet. Good real estate, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable like
It's
three
also
bed,
it's like a
three
base.
bath.
Yeah, it's like a base of. It's a base that we have a portal to, kind of, sorta. So we can maybe come back here again.
Yeah, I'll just hold on to it for a little while.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say if you put like 500 gold pieces into it, you could have a crew of people come in and clean it up and fix all the doors, the windows, and make it livable with like basic furniture and stuff like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, it sounds worth it long term.
You know, it'll take them a week to do it, but they'll come in, they'll fix everything up for you, make it livable again, and then after that, it's all yours. But it sounds like you guys have a lot of the stuff that you need. You have all the clues that you need for when you actually try to get into the Temple of Elemental. I'm sorry, Eternal State. You have the camels
Yeah,
that you
we
need
need-
to traverse the desert. you have the location of where to find the sandstorm, which is that it's pointed to by the serpent. Although you're still not quite sure where this serpent is. Let me show you guys the map. Where's the map?
Yeah, when you piece together all the puzzle.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a maze there.
Pretty sure we go north 6 times and then east 2 or 4 times and west 2 or 4 times, but in what order, who knows?
Well, you started traveling west.
Yeah. And then just to clarify, John, it says, like, the one clue I'm not so sure about. You don't move in the same direction more than twice in a row except north, or more than once in a row except north.
Never move in the same direction more than twice in a row, except
And
north.
move like west twice.
And the journey was 12 leagues also.
I assume that means like 12 steps. Like 12
Yeah.
unique movements. And if there's 12 of them, then half of them are north, which means there's 6 north. And then since they're all even, then there's either 2 or 4 east or 2 or 4 west.
Yeah, I'm guessing he made like a east once, west once.
I don't think you'd ever go east and then west because you just went back where you were.
Well, east, yeah. East.
And then it says, I traveled north
Alright.
quite a ways from the ruined man, and if there's 6 total north, I imagine that's like 3 times, 3 or 4 times. I think we're gonna have to get in there and then like find the lion-headed beast and the ruined man, and then like those will be the. I don't see like any definitive things here that like you do this and then this and then this. I think it's
The
conditional.
snake is here.
The snake.
Yeah, we gotta follow the serpent.
Yeah.
And there's a lion-headed beast that
Yeah,
signals
it's right there.
that we're there.
Follow the snake in the Kalam Desert.
So why don't we just follow the snake first and see where it goes?
I imagine it's like a statue. Like, I don't think this is this. Maybe it is. You think this is the snake?
Well,
That
it's
might be
on
the
a
snake.
map, so I'm guessing, yeah. I don't think. I think that is pretty. If this is the map that we received, I'm guessing that's the snake he's talking about.
If this is the map, then the leagues are the hexagon.
Yeah, so we just measure
Not
it by.
necessarily.
Oh, okay.
There's no real concept of east and west on the hexagons. Like northeast or southeast.
The serpent, however, is right on the money. So congratulations, you figured that out.
Bam.
Pow. So
Wait,
if that's
wait,
the
let's look
case,
at
we
the
started
names.
traveling west.
Let's
Well, I
look
mean,
at
like
the name.
here, there's nothing over here, so we just have to like go to somewhere either here or here, and then try to make it in there.
Well, let's look at the names of these different landmarks because what were the other clues?
I'll
Yeah.
say the other clues don't pertain to anything else on the map.
Okay,
They-
never mind.
They pertain strictly to when you're at the sandstorm.
Yeah, they're all like individual steps you need to make once you're inside the sandstorm, is what I'm guessing.
So why don't we head towards the head of the snake?
So we should head to the Hermitage, because I kind of want to get to a town and then head through instead of just going directly there through the desert.
Or
Are these
we
like
could-
travelable routes, or are they just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
what
the
is
dots,
this dotted
the dots
line?
are roads.
Is there a port here?
There is not a port there, no.
Okay, I probably have to walk.
Or what we could do is take this, what does it say, the tradeway,
Tradeway.
and go from the tail towards the head. And because
I
I
would
don't
agree
feel-
on that as well, because one of the notes is I never traveled south, so we need to go northwest.
I think those notes are for when we enter the sandstorm
Yeah.
itself.
yeah, but also the fact we would travel actually more distance through empty desert if we went to
I think this is fine. We go to 2 different places.
Well,
We hit here
well,
and then
the-
go there.
The only reason I say or would think not to go that way is we have the purple blood hobgoblin mercenaries are attacking caravans moving north.
Yeah. And if you're going from like where it's pointing from here to there is like multiple nodes, and here is like 1, 2.
Okay. Then
I think it's a toss-up. I think either way we're gonna run into like there's gonna be some kind of problems. I don't
Well,
think
the thing
either
is-
matter really.
let's figure out. So it is 12 leagues. Which way would be quicker?
What do you mean?
So we need to use the distance of the journey is 12 leagues. We will need to keep track of how far we're going to know if we're on the money.
I'm not 100% certain how this works, but I would the way I'm thinking about it is the 12 leagues means once you're in the sandstorm, you'll make 12 distinct movements.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just
And
the
then-
it's just the serpent.
Yeah, and then
Pointing
those movements
away.
are going to be like, which one do you want to go north here or south? Like whatever you want to do. It's like you do 12 things in a row, and then you either reach it or you don't. I think everything else is just when we have to get there. There's like 2
Okay.
separate steps.
I vote for then if you guys think it's best to go to Saint. What does it say?
The Hermitage.
Yeah, if you guys want to go there first, then I'm fine with that.
Can we ask around town and do a little
Yeah,
like gossiping and figure out like is this place currently at war with something or like
yeah. I want to figure
full
out
of
what is
vampires?
safe to go there.
know nothing about any of these places? Like this is a town, right? Teschel? This is a sword. There's a massive sword in the desert right here.
I mean, if that's the case, we should go to the store over.
There's swords all over the map, actually.
Yeah,
So the
it's a big map.
you learn a little bit of information about the Hermitage. It's a remote hermitage devoted to the god Ilmater. And Ilmater is kind of an old school god. They're kind of like the Jesus Christ figure, where they're like a martyred person who, yeah, they're like they're a martyred person. They're called the Crying God. They're devoted to
Big baby
healing and
god.
succor. And the Hermitage, it's devoted to teaching its monks a defensive form of martial arts that was developed by its founder, Saint Muradnar. It is
That sounds pretty fucking rad.
This style of martial arts was centered around disarming and disabling one's opponents using their own moves against them.
Look at this fucking this is the picture of the god in Discord chat.
Yeah.
He's the broken god.
From that's a monk from there, from the Hermitage.
That's the god's avatar. It's like the god's representation on this planet is this guy.
Are you sure you want to go there? These guys might kick our ass.
They seem pretty fucked up already.
Finn loves to fight, so this seems pretty cool.
They're the patron. Okay, maybe I don't know this.
They may want us to hit ourselves, kind of like that mercy stuff.
No, they're not like
Yeah.
they're
Not like masochist.
Flatulence.
Ilmater is not like, I guess it does have some flagellation, but it's not like it's
What
like
the
Catholicism. It's just sort of like a weirdly metal.
It says he's the patron of
religion.
suffering and of the oppressed and the persecuted.
Yeah.
So like that's the image. Like they're
So-
the person you worship when you're a fucking beaten down slave.
Exactly. So the opposite of him, there's another god called Leviatar, and Leviatar is the god of like hedonism
Wears all
and like
furs, maybe?
self-inflicted pain. In the game Baldur's Gate, you can meet a priest of Leviatar who like he'll beat you and he wants to like make you feel pleasure from the pain.
Oh, I
Yeah.
just killed that guy.
That's what I was talking about.
You get an insane power up if you let him beat you up. Actually.
Oh yeah, I let him beat my ass, and then I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, I get like this cool power up just for letting him torture me.
Just for him torture me for a little bit. Yeah.
You gotta handle it though through the rolls.
Yeah.
I
That's
just tried
why
to
you
build that
save.
guy.
I just save scummed.
Yeah, I save scum. Yeah, fine.
Ah, they're pegs.
You're the real gods of the universe. Anybody who can save scum is a real god.
Hey,
Change
how do you think I
reality.
got that nat 20 against the Nether Brain?
Did you save scum to get a nat 20?
Absolutely. It took an hour.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's that location. The other location is Cyrix Hammer. So
Is there info on like I don't want it, but is there info on like all these places?
most
Like, is there
of
stuff to
them,
do if we wanted to go to Shamadar all the way on the bottom right part of the map?
I mean, mind you, this game world has been around since like the 90s.
Yeah, that's true.
Where'd you want to go?
I
Shamadar?
say that we say fuck it and we take our boat all the way to what was that, Memon?
Okay, don't do that.
Memnon? Like it's in the wrong direction.
I know, that's why it would be funny.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like there's always a tendency to be like, fuck it, let's just go to some place. Let's just see what's there.
As a DM, I should not say that. Say that you shouldn't do that. As your friend, I would say, come on. Come on,
I
guy.
think it would be fine as long as we give you enough like forewarning.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
Hey,
to be like,
If it's
we're going
not
there
like-
right now.
Oh yeah, you know the thing that we all said we wanted to do?
Like,
Actually, we're gonna do something completely different this session. Oh, okay.
it's the issue that I have with Dina watching me playing Baldur's Gate and like checking every single little nook and cranny, opening every box. That's
well,
what I'm
that is
like.
different. That is a game. Like that is a video game.
Yeah, that is
Like
But-
there is something in those boxes.
I know, but as a map, still, there's all this shit.
Right, but it doesn't exist yet. Like
I know,
it's
but we
just
could
a
make
map.
it. I know, I'm joking.
Yeah, you have to think about it like, yeah, you're in a world, right? But would your character be like, I want to go to the Friary just to see what's there? I think maybe.
I think
But
like
that's
that's
a
kind of
that's
the
a
beauty.
whole session, right?
Yeah, that's
Have
like the
you
beauty of the
met
game is
me?
you can do stuff like that, but it is like a give and take with another human being to be like, hey, I want to do this, and you go, okay, like your character may die, but if that's what you want, we can work toward it.
Yeah. We
Well, yeah,
Versus being
I
like, I
figure
want to
out-
go there now.
I'm mostly joking, but
No, I agree. We should fuck John. We should just go to Memnon right now.
Yeah, just have a road trip. Well, fuck the campaign. It's just a road trip campaign now.
Look, Calamdan Knoll. That's my name. I gotta go down here. I
the
gotta figure out-
world has been taken over by
Ancestors.
Netherbrain. It's okay. We're on the road trip.
Also, then John can just be like, "Oops, you all died on the way there."
Oh
yeah,
no!
it's exactly.
Congrats.
That's the give and
I-
take. Oh, another
I-
dragon turtle shows up.
It's the
Definitely.
Oregon Trail of D&D.
You get dysentery.
Yes,
You all get dysentery.
I was gonna say it's like the Final Fantasy 15 of D&D, where you just hop in a car
Where you're in the
with-
car
with your best buds.
and you're cooking. You're having like
You're
Like-
having instant
like-
noodles.
instant noodles, and you go on a whole side quest about instant noodles for
Yeah,
no
for-
reason.
For some reason, Maruchan ramen exists in the Final Fantasy universe canonically.
And the Chad of the group is like, "Yo, let's go on a side quest and like learn about the noodles. They're so perfect."
Reminds me of a Zoolander where they all go to the gas station and blow up. That's what I was thinking. Okay, on the way to Menma, you need to make a pit stop. And oh no, 5 of you are dead.
We all died in a tragic gasoline fight accident.
Yeah, that was great.
Anyways, should we go to the snake?
Yeah, we're going to take the tradeway to the snake. Maybe make a pit stop at Cyrix Hammer.
Dude, I want to see the place with the fucked up god. Or the broken god.
Yeah, I kind of want to see the fucked up god.
I want to ask him how fucked up is your god and get an answer.
Yeah,
Like,
you
I mean,
guys-
Jesus is pretty
Alright.
fucked up, so this guy must be really fucked up if he's in D&D, you know?
yeah, you guys. So you guys tell me. We'll end the session here, but you guys tell me which path you want to go: the tradeway or this other road.
We split
Oh.
the party and go both ways.
Absolutely not.
I'll have that prepared
That's fine.
for you next week, and like either of those roads will eventually lead to the sandstorm. And then yeah, so we'll continue from there. When would everybody be able to meet next week? Is Thursday okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Thursday? Yeah.
They are.
Yep.
Matt.
I'm going to say just real quick, the end of this year, I'm not going to be around for 2 weeks probably.
For work or what?
I'm going to see family in the 23rd to the 27th, and then I got other stuff to do on, like, I guess the 1st. Actually, depending on when we play for, like, the 30th to the 3rd, so, like, the very last week of the year, I could probably figure out a way to make it. But the week of Christmas, I can't make it.
Of course. I think it's I mean, Christmas is literally right in the middle of the week.
True.
So I think that's going to be a pretty tough week anyway. So let's just assume we're not going to meet the week of Christmas. Okay, for now, let's say the 12th. And then we'll take it from there. But yeah. Thanks, everybody. Hope you all have a good night. And I'll see you all next week.
Awesome.